Hi, welcome to Illuminated Page, Horror on the Orient Express. Thank you so much for joining me. I am your keeper tonight, Rue Thompson. I am joined, as always, by 4 of my favoriteest people, 5 if you count the producer over here to my right. Tonight, we are back in the eldritch fuckery of Milan in 1923. I'm gonna have my friends introduce themselves. I don't have a script tonight for running this, so I'm just winging it, kids. Can you tell? Yep. So I'm gonna start going right to left on my screen, and I'm gonna start with Matthew.
Oh, hi, I'm Matt, and I'm going to be playing Countess Johanna Elizabeth Frederica Ronaldstadt. No, I've got it. It's all up there. I got to get names right now so I don't call somebody the wrong name later. I'm fancy Countess, and I have lots of money. I think. I don't really know how much money I have. That's what Emily's for.
That is what Emily's for. You know what? So I'm going to change it up. We're going to jet over to Emily. Alla, can you tell us about you and Emily, please?
Well, hello, I'm Alla, and I'm going to be playing Emily Bront, who is a veteran of the Great War, and Johanna's accountant and babysitter.
Governess, I believe, is the term.
Governess is the official term, but we know what it really is.
Oh, joy.
To round out the ladies of our characters, let's go ahead and go to Cleo and Alyssa.
Hey everybody, I'm Alyssa, and I play Cleo Dandridge, who is a veteran of the Astral Wars.
Ooh. Now we have some backstory we need to unload. Okay. I'm going to take this book here, and we're going to toss it out the window. We're going to learn about the Cthulhu Astral Wars.
I don't know. Anyway, she's the group's occultist. She tries to make sure people don't touch things to varying degrees of failure.
But this is what we're here for, touching things.
It's true.
I mean, as the great sage Neil Diamond once said, touching me, touching you. So, shut up, Matthew. And then last but certainly not least, our one and only Sean Parks. Please introduce you and Kelsey.
Sean, I play Kelsey Haskins. He is the group's doer of bad things. That's the official term now.
I think it's locksmith. But doer of bad things is fine.
I do things that aren't exactly above the board, so to speak.
Yeah.
But, you know.
Thievery, lockpicking. You know, a good thief could take that lockpicking and just make a really good career of locksmithing. Plus, you know where all your locks are, so you can get in easier. That's true. So, those are my 4 wonderfully talented players and their characters. Last time we met, I'm hearing a thing.
Well, she's fixing that. I want to remind everybody, you should stamp your tickets. If you don't stamp your tickets, Indiana Jones might show up and throw you off the train. So...
Indiana Jones might throw you off the train. Is that what you just said?
That's absolutely what I just said. Because he does that on the Zeppelin. He punches the Nazi and throws him out the window, and everybody looks at him and he goes, "No ticket."
Is that the third one?
Yeah.
That's the one I haven't seen.
You haven't seen the... Oh.
Out of all 4, that's the one I haven't seen.
I feel so bad for you.
I would...
Why?
The 4th one was horrible.
Oh yeah, but the 3rd one is easily not the best.
I don't know.
I'm sure of it. I'm sure of it. You can't beat Temple of Doom for me.
Okay, that's fair because Temple
of Doom was the best. Yeah.
Temple of Doom was the one I had on VHS, and I watched, I don't know, like 100 times before I turned 18.
Okay, real quick before you start, I just found this out. Temple of Doom is a prequel.
Yeah, you didn't know that?
Nope, I just found that out not too long ago.
Yeah.
I didn't know that, but I consume. I'm a surface level consumer. Unless I was in my film appreciation class in high school, I'm a surface level consumer. Does it tickle my buttons right now? Yeah, we're good. That's all I need. I'm sorry for everybody who loves film and the deeper meanings thereof. A very surface consumer. What was I gonna say? Sorry, my Discord is a popping off, and I need to mute some people. Okay, but yeah, we are in. I'm going to actually do a thing that I never do.
Oh.
Would one of you like to recap what happened last time? Yeah.
Sure. Yeah. I can totally do this. I couldn't remember character names, but I'm totally gonna remember 2 weeks ago. Don't worry about this.
I'm just saying if you
So, we were in Lucerne, and we went
Lausanne.
to Lucerne. Close enough. Yeah, you're right. Listen, I'm already off to a
strong
stellar start.
Yeah.
We're good.
Yeah.
It's okay. You called it Lucerne the entire episode last time too. I didn't
That's
break,
fine.
So that's okay.
We were in Switzerland. How about that one? And we went to the 7:30 Club with a guy whose name I don't actually remember.
Max von something.
Wertheim?
It
For
wasn't
time.
important.
Wertheim. Yeah.
Max
Max von wasn't important.
Max knew nothing. Max was absolutely useless. So he packed up and got on the train the next morning, where we were confronted by the Duke, where he made it very clear that he is older than we thought he was and definitely needs to die. And we agreed to give him the scroll, and he would leave us alone. So we gave him the fake scroll, and then we arrived in Milan. When once there, we found out that the singer, whose name
Caterina Cavallaro, the soprano.
names are not going to be my strong suit.
It's all right. I can do the names.
The singer has gone missing, and I'm pretty sure something nefarious, like culty related, is going on, but I could be wrong. What else did I miss? What did I miss there in Milan? Because I'm
really that was it. You guys talked to the police. You got a place to stay. Yes, you had heard that, and I'm pretty sure that's about as far as we got. I don't think we went anywhere else.
We found out more about the statue itself and how
you did
dangerous it is.
You noticed that Milan was under a very very recognizable pall. Like it's not the lively fashion center of culture and art and entertainment that some of you were expecting, as Milan has been known to be. There is a lot of really heavy government oppressive things happening in that regard too, where there's a change of government. At this point, there's a lot of renovation happening, so it has cast a very ugly look over the city, and everybody seems to be just
Miserable.
what is the right word? Yeah, they just seem miserable. Like all the good things that you would have expected, you're getting more their reflection, the negative reflection, or the
Also,
the
the secret police, the black shirts, are out.
The black shirts are out
doing whatever they
doing
want.
things. I think I mentioned, if I didn't, when you went to the police station, there was a protest happening outside, which we can readdress if we need to. There was a protest happening outside, and you did witness black shirts dispersing that crowd. And that was a protest by union workers who believe that a man was killed by fascists and his body hasn't been returned to his family. And so there's a whole thing happening, and so the black shirts come along and kind of clear them out. But yeah, so that was going on. You know that Katerina is gone, and you made some very astute occult rolls and intelligence rolls, I believe, in observing the city throughout the time that you've been there, and determined that you believe if there is a piece of that statue there, of that simulacrum, that it is very likely what is causing this disruption of emotion and just everything that is hanging over Milan at this time.
And we also kind of linked the curse that is affecting me from the arm.
We did. You did. I believe Kelsey started to make that connection that
Getting hurt on my left side.
Yeah, you tweaked your left shoulder. You have some pain in your arms. You knocked your knuckles into a door frame. But yes, you are feeling like perhaps you are being affected by that arm that's in the leaden case. So even though it is now protected in the leaden case and can be handled in that form pretty regularly, the fact that you touched it first upon finding it seems to have affected you in a way. So that's something to keep in mind going forward. you know, I don't remember if we said it in game or out of game, but going forward, if you locate more of these pieces, and if you choose to locate more of these pieces, you know, be mindful that they may do something similar.
Be real awkward if you're just like, nah, never mind. We're not looking for the statue
what?
anymore. We're gonna go on other adventures. Sorry.
Yeah, we're gonna go home now.
Bye. There were so many times in Masks where I was like, why am I here? My character's like, let me
So
get
we went through 8 different characters.
No, we didn't.
Well,
I
feel
went
like
through the most.
That's a thing about Call of Cthulhu. You really got to be invested in finding the weird stuff. Otherwise, you're like, why? This is all terrible. Everything's awful.
I also played Masks or ran Masks very light-handed because it wants you to get murdered real bad.
It does. It does. This module, and I think I've talked about it before on camera. But there's a line at the beginning of this module that just says, you know, there's a phrase that there's an adjective for certain keepers, and it was like, yeah, if you just want to essentially use them as fodder, have them make several characters, have them have a stack of character sheets. That's not how I like to play Call of Cthulhu for a long-term campaign, if I can help it. Like, if we're just doing like a short thing, okay, yeah, let's mow through some people, but I want you to be as invested in these people's characters as I am. What is that? Don't laugh at me. And if you're not, well, sucks to be you. Guys, roll those luck advances.
Roll that beautiful bean footage.
Somehow you're here and you don't care about these characters, so
Hey,
that must have been good.
it was. I wasn't expecting to roll over my luck.
So yeah, these
Ooh, I did
these are
too.
the standard ones. Yep.
So we roll now what?
So
D10.
you roll above
Okay.
your luck and then you roll a d10.
Well, that just is...
Apparently,
one.
Cleo is feeling real lucky today.
I rolled over my luck and then I rolled a 10.
Nice.
I rolled over my luck and then rolled a 1.
Oh,
Yeah. Wah, wah.
do you
Well,
want some of mine?
on the right on the tail end of that, chat has gifted you 1 luck advance from chat, so we're gonna go ahead and roll another d6 if you need to,
Yeah.
and there's just a straight d6 roll to add to your.
Well, that was better.
Will we cap out at 99?
Mm-hmm.
What?
Oh my
See, that's the
God.
question. That's the kind of question we were having a discussion before well, I'm not going to mention it. Never mind. But yeah,
Wait,
that's one of those questions where you ask it and everybody goes,
I mean, let's put it like this. Cleo's flush with luck, but her sanity's not all there.
Is it really a win?
I'm at the most sanity that I can have.
Oh, cool.
It's
I'm at
still low.
78. It's 78.
That's
It's
still more
honestly
than
not
mine.
bad.
It's not terrible.
No, that's sad.
your
It's higher than
sanity's at
mine.
78? Yeah, that's
No, it's at 33. No,
Wow.
it is. It's at 78.
Okay, I was gonna say, whew. Whew.
Which is the most that I can have because my mythos is 21.
Yes. Okay, so you're maxed out for you
Mm-hmm.
for that. All right. Well, let's see. I did not ask you all a character personal question, but I made you recap the episode, so I feel like maybe that was enough of being put on the spot.
I'll put us
At
on the
least
spot.
for
I like
Mac.
the character question.
Do you like
They
the
are
character
they
question?
are fun. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, well, as your character, can you tell me a time, try not to be too loquacious, like me, a time in your character's life, ooh, that was going to get real deep, and I don't think I want to go there. My brain is on deep things today. Tell me about a time in your character's life where they felt, where they were proud of an accomplishment, and what the accomplishment was. Consider me your job interviewer. So, let's do a reverse start on this one. So we're starting with Sean.
All right. So, a time in my life that I was particularly proud of an accomplishment, right?
Yes.
That is going to be when I was 13, and I finally decided I had enough of my home life, which was unbearable, and I left for Chicago. I decided that I would be safer braving the world than staying at home.
Very interesting. Okay. So Kelsey is an independent lad. Next, going in reverse order, would be Alyssa and Cleo.
Accomplishment.
Well, obviously, it would be winning the Astral War.
Does
Winning the
anybody
Astral
win
War
the
single-handedly?
war,
No.
Does Alyssa have to do two, one for Cleo and one for Chloe?
No.
Yes.
No, just Cleo.
I think probably it's kind of an accomplishment still in progress, but kind of when she decided, or when I decided that I was going to try to keep my dad's old occult shop afloat, and I'm now kind of working towards keeping that open and keeping that going back in Massachusetts.
Okay, awesome.
Try to
awesome.
keep that alive.
Keep that alive. Is someone running it right now?
Yeah, Ophelia pops in
Okay.
now and then to try
Good,
to take
good,
care
good.
of it.
Nice. Next on that list would be Allah.
Emily would probably say that it was the birth of her son, because childbirth is very difficult every time. But graduating towards the top of her class at the military academy was also, that's a personal achievement that not many others can claim.
Nice. Very nice. And last, but certainly not least, Matt, tell us about Johanna's accomplishments.
During the war, Johanna got her last governess fired. Basically because Johanna didn't like her, but made her look really dumb and incompetent through a whole lot of background work. And Johanna's very proud of manipulating her father into firing someone she didn't like.
Wow.
Emily's fun, comparatively. Like, let's just be honest.
Emily is a lot of fun. She is so stylish. In her gray and black.
Please do not use those adjectives around me again.
Fun and stylish. You're stuck with it.
Why would you insult me like this? The work I put in for your family.
Okay. I think we've handled all the pregame stuff. If you're out there in TV land, get your bingo cards if you don't already have them. I have not relinked those bingo cards, but I'm sure somebody in chat can pull you to our Discord and point you at the link. So, yeah, join us on Discord and all that shit. And without further ado, if you've got your ticket stamp, let's go ahead and get on this train. So, again, you are in Milan. You were given rooms at the when you met, rewind a little bit. When you met Caterina Cavallaro on the Orient Express 2 days previous, she was very kind of, honestly, a little extra, and she just kind of like, and she recognized Johanna. Johanna has been to several of her performances. They're not that far apart in age, really. How old are you, Johanna?
25, I believe.
25, yeah. And Katerina is 27. So, you know, they kind of had a thing. Invited Johanna and her friends to her salon car. They had a wonderful evening of just, I don't know, cavorting, I guess, and eating and drinking. At about 2 a.m., Katerina came out and sang Ritorna something or other from Aida, which she would be performing at the Teatro della Scala in just a couple days' time. Gives you all good seats and promises to book hotel rooms for you. upon arriving, you do discover that she did book those hotel rooms for you. You have a place in the Galleria above a restaurant called Biffy's. I guess that's how you say it. That's how I'd say it. Biffy's, and they are very luxurious rooms. They look very nice. Trying to find the description of them. But yeah, at the crux of the Galleria, she had wired ahead for those before she arrived and was subsequently picked up. For those of you that don't remember, the only facts that you really have about the kidnapping are that she got off the train. She was, her manager was gathering her luggage. She was kind of flagged down by a car. Someone in a vehicle called her over. She spoke with them for a little bit, turned back, basically said, bid farewell, got into the car with whoever it was, and drove off. And her manager rolled his eyes and was frustrated. but
There
yeah,
she goes again, getting abducted.
Into a black Alfa Romeo, which is not uncommon. Milan at this time on the northern side of the city does have a plant where the Alfa Romeo cars are being manufactured, so there are a lot of them in the area. But yeah, so I believe that's where we left off, because I didn't, I was not prepared for them to actually complete the other thing. So,
are we in the hotel room? Is that where we left?
I'm going to say that yes, you're in the hotel room. So you've gotten, we'll say you're getting settled. You had looked in the newspaper, seen the article about Katerina, and all of that. But yes,
we had called the lead detective or investigator.
You called the lead detective, which I don't believe I gave a name for, but I'm going to give you a name right now. That detective was Brizio David, and David, D-A-V-I-D-E, is his surname. He is the one who is in charge of Katerina's, the investigation into her disappearance. In the rooms where you are, you do have balconies. They're very nice. I'm going to say you have like I think we had like penthouse type thing. We're going to keep with that. You have essentially a number of rooms as part of a larger suite. So you do get your privacy, but you are also all within behind the same locked door as concerning the rest of the hotel. But yes, you do have balconies. You can go out on those balconies and look down on Milan's comings and goings. You are in a very busy part. Again, you are in the center of the Galleria, which is kind of a cruciform. I think they actually use the term arcade. So it's very nice. There's shopping, there's restaurants, there's the Teatro della Scala. I don't think is very far, but there is above you, where your balconies are, there is a mural of ancient Egypt, and a man approaches a seated woman. I believe this is referring to an advertisement for Aida. I think that happens in Egypt. I'm an idiot when it comes to culture. Yeah. Yes, it does. And then below the Galleria, or below the Galleria's, below the mural, around where all the people are walking down around the walls and everything, there's tons of statuary and stuff like that. Just to give you a heads up, in your room there are books. There are lots of guidebooks. You have shelves lined with guidebooks, and ones to discuss the main attractions of Milan, like the Last Supper. You also have the Sforza Castle, many churches, gardens, glorious. There's a massive cathedral called Il Duomo that's there in the area, and even a book regarding the Teatro alla Scala, which is the opera house. So those are at your disposal as well.
So, assuming that while we're in the room, Johanna is sitting at the table with the scroll open and like taking notes and retranslating and making sure that everything, also trying to figure out the language a little bit better, because I think there's some disconnect there for her that she doesn't understand it. I assume Cleo is across from her or next to her, like somewhere right there. I'll look down and I'll say, so it I think it suggests in this place, point whatever I'm looking at, that there are greater effects. So I remember the arm that never came into contact with people in the house affected the people in the house. What if I think we understand the peace is affecting everyone here and causing a malaise, but what if Katerina was kidnapped because the opera would have countered that? Because Aida has a lot of emotion. What if that whole thing could have counterbalanced this? Do you think that, I mean, you know a lot more about this than I do, so is that something, is it a plausible theory at least?
It is.
So I would think, given that, maybe the opera house is near where the piece is located here.
It's a good theory. Better than anything else we have to go on right now.
Do the books that you have anything on anything like this?
Do they?
I'm trying to remember what books you have. I think you do.
So many.
Huh?
I warned you I was going to ask about the books.
I know
Sorry.
you did. You did. And I forgot entirely. I've slept and eaten and drank since then. But we'll say sure that I mean, give me a occult roll, Cleo.
Okay, yeah, that is a hard success.
Yeah, we'll say that some of the things that you've studied, if not in the books that you have currently, in others, that there is evidence at least that it lessens the good, strong, positive emotion, and may combat some of that a little bit. But it's, it'd be interesting to see what happens when Aida actually takes the stage.
Yeah.
Or goes to the stage here in 2 nights. So.
Yeah, I mean, I've read and experienced certain pieces of that before. It's mostly, a lot of it's kind of more theory than it is anything in that's been practically, quote, studied, scientifically or whatever. But there have been people that have written papers about the transference of energy from something into something else, and the transference of negative energy into positive energy, or vice versa.
I'm also wondering if the political climate here is maybe amplifying what's happening, because we witnessed some of it, but all of Italy is going through a large change, just like a lot of Europe is, but it feels oppressive here, and I'm wondering if that is pulling it maybe farther or making it stronger or something along those lines.
It could, it could be more of a sort of a cyclical thing, that it's like one is feeding the other, is feeding the other, is feeding first, is feeding the other,
Johanna will put her pen down and stop reading and talking and turn to Cleo. I hope you understand that I respect you a great deal. That your knowledge and everything you brought with us has been invaluable. But I think you come from a different background and understanding of learning than I do. I have thoughts that maybe what you've read would come to me in a different light because of our different backgrounds. What I'm asking is, I know, and she looks over at Emily, dagger eyes. I know you guys keep me from touching things, or try to. I'm not stupid. And I know the books are dangerous. But if I had access to them, I think that I could bring something else to the table and give us a more robust understanding.
It's certainly a fair question. It's certainly a fair concern. I've never actively tried to keep you from all of the information in those books. I just think you should consume it slowly, as opposed to all at once. I don't have much on what we're talking about right now in terms of the transferences of energy and things like that, the learning of that. A lot of my learning, yes, you can read it, some of it in papers and some of it in books. A lot of it is more practical. You get a mentor, you study the physical practicality of things that are metaphysical, as opposed to sitting down and studying from a book the way you would with university learning.
So
I'm not opposed to sharing some of the information with you. I just think it should come to you slowly, as opposed to you just sitting and consuming book after book after book after book.
So what would it take for you to consider taking me as a mentee? You know a lot. You understand much more than I think you know. I think those are two different things. You could control what I'm reading, keep an eye on it. We could discuss it, which would allow me to. The books, as I understand them, are unsettling. It would hopefully ground me a little more, and then that way we're still hopefully expanding our knowledge. Because what you read one way, it's just like the many versions of Christian. What one group reads one way, another group reads another, and maybe we can get a different view there, but you could still control that and keep it from overtaking me, and keep me from being impulsive and reading too far. There's a reason you keep me from touching things. I understand that.
It's a reason that you yourself may someday come to know. I would honestly, and this is not trying to keep us from having this conversation, I would need to speak with my mentor to see if she believes that I am in a position to be ready to hand information to someone else. Oh, did you lose me?
And I don't know.
I think I'm losing Matt.
Oh, man, great.
Oh.
No, okay, you're back now.
Okay. Yeah, no, you should just pause for a second. Sorry about that. I don't know what's going on. I'm home alone, so that's not creepy at all.
I have a backlight. I have like a strip of backlights on my television, and they keep going on at random intervals during the day and then turning off, and I'm like, what you doing?
Ghost country. So you would need to talk to Ophelia before you made a call.
Yeah, just be
on...
like, what do you think about this?
Okay. Sounds...
In the meantime, I'm not opposed to offering you a certain volume or giving you certain books, but in terms of a formal mentor-mentee relationship, I would need to speak to my mentor to see if I would be ready to, if she believes I'm ready to take that on.
In return, I would offer to help you start learning some of the languages these books are written in. I think that might be hindering your the wide range of things that you can do. A lot of stuff is just not written in English if it's more than a couple hundred years old.
No, I mean, and most of my studies and most of my learning has been, it's Celtic. It's Celtic, it's Druid. I speak Gaelic. I can read the old Celt languages.
And Gaelic is very different from a lot of mainland Europe. And thankfully I have some, well, I mean, German is my native language, but I understand several other languages that would I think would help you quite a bit.
That's very kind of you, and I think that would be useful for both of us, as I think it could be useful to open up and give you certain pieces of, volumes that I have that may pertain to this.
Absolutely. Well, I'm not sure where to start this search, honestly. I'm at a bit of a loss. Emily, this kind of falls under your expertise a little more than mine. Do you have any thoughts on maybe where we could start tracking down Katerina? Maybe Mr. Haskins, maybe you do as well. I don't.
So before I formulate anything above the board, did she ever check into the hotel? Do we know that? Did she ever go to the theater first? She met at the train station, right?
She met at the train station. So, just a real quick rundown of places that you could go to talk to people if you're looking for an idea. You could talk to the people at the theater. Find out if they have talked to her. Based on the article that when it announced her disappearance, I'm pretty sure. Yeah, Arturo Toscanini, music director of La Scala, has confirmed that he has had no contact from the singer since she departed Paris. So they've not even heard from her since before she got on the train and talked to y'all. You already did talk to the police. They were a little standoffish. But if you guys start finding information...
Accidentally standoffish.
Yeah, if you start finding any information that might be useful, they might change their opinions a little bit. Moving on. You could talk to... you could investigate where she lived to see if she's perhaps been home. I mean, she does live here in Milan. So, I mean, there are some options.
So, two things then I would suggest is we go to wherever she lives to see if there's any information there of who she's been talking to recently. Number two is also to find out who picked up the luggage from the train when she got off and see if there's anything more recent there. Communications, whatnot.
Well, and the people at the theater may also know other contacts she has here. She obviously knew who was in the car.
Yeah, because there's no report like she was forced into it. She just got into it willingly, yes?
Yeah, she...
By all accounts.
By all accounts... Here, let me just...
Sorry, yeah, it's been a moment.
The singer has not been seen since she alighted from the train from Paris yesterday at 1 p.m. Since then, she has not returned to her apartment or attended rehearsals at La Scala, where she is due to sing the part of Aida, which opens tomorrow night. So, yes, if you have... excuse me. Those are... You can find out who picked up her luggage. You can find out... But you'd go back to the train station, talk to some people there. You could go to her apartments, see if you could talk to anybody there, if there is anybody. But yeah, the police basically said we don't... Like, I feel like it was mentioned that it might have been an old flame. Like somebody thought it was, maybe an old lover that had come and picked her up. But that was very much rumor mill feeling, I think, even to the
Is
police.
Aida a traveling production?
This one, I don't believe so. I think it's just doing that's what the theater has picked.
Okay.
Because she's local. Most of the cast is local.
So she would know... They would know her a little bit from having spent time with her during rehearsals.
Absolutely. She is beloved in Milan.
In theory, the police would have already gotten some names. And if they were willing to share any of those with us, that would save us a lot of time. But...
Okay. Full disclosure.
Okay.
Full disclosure. The cast knows that I fucked up and I forgot. I missed the part in the book where it said the police were happy for help. But in reading what they said, I gave you actually more than they would give you.
That's fair.
by accident. So not necessarily by
unhelpful.
accident. I was actually more forthcoming. They don't have anything.
Well,
do they have like names of friends or whatever, family?
The police are glad of any assistance. Let's see. They summarize all of the facts above. I hate it when they say stuff like that. Basically, okay, yes. So to save some time, we'll retcon. We'll say that Maurizio David gave you this information when you called and made very impressive credit rating rolls and charm rolls or whatever. So she was picked up in a black Alfa Romeo RL, the latest model, outside of the train station. So new car, wealthy. Someone, let's see, at Station Central the investigators, or well, you guys could talk to, we'll say that the police talked to a porter who helped her with her luggage. A man waved to her from an Alfa Romeo RL, the latest model. She approached him, and after a brief conversation, turned back to wave to her entourage, and then got into the automobile. Her manager collected the luggage, rolling his eyes. I will say the police also talked to her maid, whose name was Isabel. Isabel is very distraught. Has heard literally nothing from Katerina. She, though, does not believe that she would have gone off with an old flame. So that rumor, Isabel dismisses out of hand. And to the point, she does say Katerina is prone to sudden and passionate decisions. So she's a little bit, she can...
With that, we know.
Yeah. You guys witnessed that on the train.
Gave us a fancy hotel room just because we, partied with her for a few hours.
Yeah. Isabel tells the police that she believes she would only have gotten into the car if it was related to the opera. That and Johanna, you would know, even without a role, that oftentimes sopranos are kind of what is the word I'm looking for? Treated, or the book says feted by its wealthy patrons. So they're kind of celebrated. They're kind of showered upon, as it is. So Isabel believes that it is not a flame, but possibly related to the opera. Other than that, the police really don't have anything. They've not found her. They have not found the Alfa Romeo.
They have a license plate?
I was going to say, they did have license plates in Italy at the time, and there were only 4 alphanumeric characters.
Black and white. There's an historic fact for your bingo cards.
Mussolini ended up changing them during his kind of takeover.
Interesting. Look at Allah with the knowledge. They're just, we know things. They don't have a license plate number. Nobody was really thinking about it because this is kind of expected. She's beloved. Okay, somebody shows up. She willingly gets into the car. It didn't look like it was a dangerous situation. It's probably something that's happened any number of times before. But the police do say, and I think this is actually a tidbit that I got definitely wrong when I spoke with you all 2 weeks ago. They do believe that the disappearance is genuine. They do not think that she fled or anything like that. They do believe that she was abducted. And then again, like I said, there is a small protest that was taking place outside the police station when you went and talked to them. 6 workers hold signs reading "Justice for Ennio Spinola," whose body was found yesterday in Portello, and he was an auto worker at the Alfa Romeo.
At the room. Oh.
Okay.
Suddenly.
Dun dun dun.
The light on my TV just turned on. As you said that, so I feel like this is related.
Portello is absolutely the name of the area. Did I say that?
No, you said Portello. I heard Portillo's.
Oh, and now you want a Chicago dog or an Italian beef?
I was wondering why he's at founded an Italian beef sandwich place, and now I do kind of want an Italian beef.
Yep. I'm here to just make everybody hungry.
Take a lot.
But yeah, so you had that. None of you talked to anybody at the protest. The newspaper may talk about it a little bit, which is where you found the thing about Katerina. In fact, the newspaper says the body of automobile worker Ennio Spinola was discovered today in a laneway off of Via Travezzano in Portello, not far from the Alfa Romeo factory where he worked. Spinola had been stabbed to death. Police are pursuing inquiries among workers in the area. Spinola was an active unionist and was reported to have been arguing about union matters with other workers in recent days. So yeah, so that kind of precludes all that information that the police would have given you. precludes kind of having to go to those places. You're still welcome to, but giving you that information would be, since you did give really good credit rating rolls. Yeah. Does anybody want to look, while Cleo and Johanna have been having this discussion, Kelsey, Emily, would either of you be looking at any of the guidebooks? Would you be just settling in? What would y'all be doing?
Probably reading the newspapers more than the guidebooks.
Okay, then we will say that you reading the newspaper, you found the automobile worker murdered. Go ahead and give me a spot hidden roll, Emily, if you're reading the newspaper.
Regular success. These dice suck, and I'm never using them again.
A regular success is fine. That's all you needed.
Well, you know, when you have a 72 and then you roll a 68, that's just...
It's sad, but which dice are
It's
they?
sad.
Where are your ladybug dice?
It's one of my many bags of dice. So, we're mixing it up tonight.
All right, well, here we go. Tactical turtleneck and mixing it up. So you do notice an article based on what the police had mentioned to you about, or what Isabel was reported to have told the police, which is that, again, she believes that it might have been a patron. Something does catch your eye, Emily. An article, a brief little excerpt says, "A welcome return. Flavio Conti was a welcome face at last night's party for patrons and supporters of La Scala. Mr. Conti has been unwell in recent months, with some erroneous reports that he was afflicted with tuberculosis. It was clearly a much less serious complaint. Mr. Conti has made a complete recovery and was the life of the party. Also present were fellow opera patrons Mr. Nunzio Tocci, Mr. and Mrs. Matteo Sorrenti, Miss Angelina Susco, Mr. Arturo Fascia, and Mrs. Serena Spagnolo. The company were entertained by selections from this week's opera Aida, as performed by members of the cast. Rosario Cerbello accompanied on the piano. It was a most glittering occasion."
I think we should maybe see... I'm assuming vehicles were purchased from the factory in these days rather than, like, a dealership. Or rather, directly from the manufacturer.
I think so.
Maybe worth finding out if anybody has any of these individuals has recently procured a new model.
Brand new.
A brand new model.
Okay. That's a good, there's a lead for you.
It's gotta be somebody wealthy, and with it somebody being related to the opera, the wealthy patrons are probably a good start.
Sure.
And also, rich people tend to be in cults, it's known.
Yeah.
Kelsey, what are you doing while Emily is making broad generalizations about cultist rich people? And
But am I wrong?
No.
I mean, not necessarily. Would you be looking through any of the guidebooks or anything like that, or are you just chilling out?
Not guidebooks. I'd be seeing if I could, without alerting any, not calling down to the hotel front desk or anything, seeing if there's, I don't know, the 1920s equivalent of the white pages to see if we could find where Isabella address is. And if not,
Where Katarina's address is?
Katarina, sorry, I don't know why I said Isabella.
Yeah, you can get her. You can get her address. It's sadly, it's probably fairly. This is a different era.
Yeah.
I feel like people.
She's listed.
Yeah, she's listed. Yeah, you can find her. If you wanted to go talk to Isabel yourself. She has a townhouse off of San Carporfero.
Is that close to where we are, or is that like the other side of town?
It's close enough.
Okay.
Let me look at the little mappy poo. You are here. And she is not here. Where is she? Okay, she might be farther than I thought. Oh no, she's not that far. You get a car. You can get a car and get over there. So.
And that's it. Maybe finding the address, listening to the conversations going on, and cleaning my tools.
Okay. Yeah, so just so you know, and I'll get you guys a map if I haven't already, where you are in the Galleria, you are really close to the Teatro alla Scala. So you're literally like across an intersection from the theater, the Opera House. You are also close to the Milan Cathedral and Piazza del Duomo, as well as, let's see, those are hotels, those don't matter. Yeah, so you're real close to like a couple of the big tourist spots. You're in a very, very nice area where you would normally do like lots of shopping and theater and cultural events and things like that. So, what would y'all like to do for the rest of this day? Because the show doesn't open until tomorrow night.
The cast should still be at the theater, though, correct?
Mm-hmm.
So I think going to the theater and talking to the cast is the quickest.
Honestly, the theater is on the way to her apartment if Kelsey proffers that suggestion.
Yeah. Well, yeah, that's definitely going to be the suggestion. Have Katerina's address. If nothing pans out at the Opera House, we could always go check her townhouse and see if she has a diary or some kind of mail leading to... maybe the smoking gun is there. Hey, gonna pick you up from the train depot, and we'll go have lunch, and have a lead that way.
It could be. I will remind you that she just got off the train, and so if anything's she wouldn't have seen anything at her apartment.
Good. This is a different day. They could have had that, months in advance scheduled.
Yeah, there could have been correspondences.
That's true. That's true. I'm thinking of mail. Yep.
I would also suggest that as we pursue this, we introduce Mr. Haskins as a private investigator employed by the Ronaldi-Stadt family. It gives an air of competence and legality.
100%.
That was not an insult, Haskins. I noticed your face.
No, it was an insult to all of us because normally we just flop around until we find something.
Yeah, it
was.
Everybody has a semblance of competence, if you say. And honestly, I believe, if I'm not mistaken, when you did credit rating and charm the police officer, the first one, you did imply that you were friends with her.
Yes.
Because Johanna had talked to her. Johanna did her thing.
Yep.
So, all right. So you all head to Teatro alla Scala. And it is in a wonderful little area known as the Piazza del Scala. You can get to it straight from the Galleria, which is where your apartment or where your hotel is. And its centerpiece in the Piazza del Scala is a large statue of Michelangelo. So this is a very lovely place. Again, you're reminded of all the art that comes out of this, out of Italy and things like that. And again, the people that you see walking around it seem to kind of disregard it. They are not as impressed by it as you think maybe they should be, or maybe have been in previous times that you've been here. The theater house itself, unfortunately though, is a little bland looking, really, as far as architecture goes. But it is massive, absolutely huge.
Sorry.
Oh no, please go ahead.
As you said, does it have any signs of the renovations that's going on throughout the city?
It is not currently being renovated, but yeah, you do see other areas where you see scaffolding and chunks of like cement or brick where similar to the train station that are being like refaced and things like that to fit with the current regime.
I'll lean over to Kelsey and go, this opera house is almost as old as your country. Just 2 years.
I'm actually aware of that. Countess.
Let's go ahead and mark your bingo square for someone is insulting about Americans.
What else is new, really?
What else is new? This is a European campaign, so just par for the course. So yeah, you approach the Teatro alla Scala, and the front doors are decidedly locked. It is midday, or mid-afternoon, we'll say, or late afternoon. The sun is out. People exist and are around.
People exist. They don't at night.
So.
They don't at night.
Ooh.
It's known. No, That was a bullshit way of saying I wouldn't recommend trying to lockpick the front doors of the Teatro alla Scala.
There's a back door.
Yeah. Let's
door at this time of day.
There is always a stage door. The front doors are locked. They actually say that they'll be open when tomorrow night when the opera opens. So the main entry doors are not. But yes, there is a stage door. Those of you that would be looking around, and there is a fella guarding that door. You just can't have randos walking in off the street.
No.
But yeah, there's a big boy standing outside. And can I help you?
Actually, yeah, we're looking to talk to someone about the disappearance of, and please help me because I'm having a slow day, Caterina Cavallaro. I was actually hired by the Restalled family to help locate her. Restalled, right?
Yeah, Rinaldi-Stad.
Rinaldi-Stad. You can just smash all that together. It's fine.
Portmanteau, baby. We are Americans. Let's make a dumb word for it instead. I can't pronounce it. Let's change it. Yeah, and he's like, she hasn't been here, but I can't just let you come in. So I'm gonna need a fast talk or a persuade.
What about charm?
I mean, I want you to roleplay it. How are you gonna charm this big burly boy?
Are you suggesting I charm him? Because I'm happy to.
No, I charm too.
No, this is Kelsey's.
Okay.
Kelsey stepped up. She's talking, or he's talking to her. So
remember, he's not a middle-aged lady. You're gonna have, you might have some penalties.
no, he's a young lad, but he's big. His strength is 85.
We don't know
y'all.
anything about this man.
Yeah.
We don't want to assume anything about his size or personality.
Except that he's large. I mean, it's not like I said, look, there is a large Italian man right there. But you can tell he's
Not like you've
Italian.
ever done that before.
Not like I've ever done that before.
There's going to be kind of a noticeable change in the way that Kelsey steps usually or holds himself. He's usually kind of not stiff, but always ready to bolt, if that makes sense.
Flight mode.
Flight mode all the time. Always engaged.
Always engaged.
You can, like softening of the shoulders, a little more relaxed, and he's like, "Look, I know that you're used to dealing with these divas. Trust me, I'm dealing with one of them myself." And I kind of point over my shoulder at the Countess. Like, I was hired to help locate her. It's going to make so many people happy if we find her because I know your bosses are frantic. And this would make your life easier. I'm not asking you to let us in. I'm asking you to go talk to the stage manager and have him come out here and talk to us at the very least. It would make my job easier, make your job easier.
What language are you speaking?
American.
American or French?
American
or French?
Merkin. Well, good thing I rolled for this lad's understanding of English, and I actually got a hard success.
None of us speak Italian.
That is, yeah, I know. That's a bad day. But yeah, I rolled a 4 for him, so he understands.
Okay.
He understands. That's a regular success on his 10. So this was going to be real awkward for a second. I need you to go ahead and give me your charm.
Okay, so as I finish that, I'm going to reach out to shake his hand, and I'm going to have. Oh, this makes me sound so uneducated. Is it lira in Italy? No. What is the currency in Italy?
What is the currency in Italy at this time? It might be lira.
I think it is lira.
Lira.
Yep.
There's going to be 50 lira that I'm going to pass to him as I shake his hand. The ultimate kind of charm.
Awesome. Okay. Then go ahead and give yourself a bonus die since you're bribing him.
It's a tip. It's not a bribe. And that is a 26, which is a hard success.
Okay.
Which is good because I rolled a 90 on the other dice.
Okay. So, This guy, he's like, he kind of looks over your shoulder at the Countess, and he's like, ah, these women, they are beautiful, but my God, they just constantly running around doing things,
So
causing
much
trouble.
energy.
Divas.
So much energy.
They want everything, yet
Oh.
nothing at all. Ugh.
Can I
And
hear
he-
him?
Pretend you don't
give
speak American.
Give me a listen roll.
Oh, I think I actually succeeded.
Don't forget to mark your boxes, ladies and gentlemen.
I did succeed. It's a regular success.
Okay. Then, yeah, you hear him say something like, "Oh, these divas."
I'll say, Mr. Haskins, could you hurry it up, please?
And I'm
I'd
just
like
gonna
to get in today.
I'm gonna turn back to the stagehand and just like arch my eyebrow, like,
And he goes, yeah. So, oh, okay. And he just kind of mutters something about keeping her, in Italian. If any of you could speak it, he speaks the Italian equivalent of "keep your knickers on." And he turns back to the door, and he's like, "You may come in, but you must stay together. I do not want you. The four of you need to stay together as much as possible.
oh,
Of
yeah.
course, he basically says, you can talk to the stage manager whose name you got. It was like Toscanini or something.
Yeah.
Was the guy who was like, she hasn't even been here. Ugh. In one of the articles. But yeah.
I appreciate your help. This is a big help. Thank you.
Just don't tell him Marco let you in, even though I'm the only one here.
I'll tell him I knocked you out. How does that sound?
No,
No. Okay.
they will not believe you, little man.
Oh, man. Ooh.
It's like a 6'5", 380-pound wide boy. He is the door, okay? He's not just the guy who guards the door. He is the door. He's Marco Dorman.
Marco
So,
Dorman. It's an
Very
ancient-
traditional Italian name,
traditional
yes.
Italian name.
I mean, they say give the kids the name that you want them to do for a living. I mean, if you name him
Yeah.
Dorman, I mean,
It's a family name. He comes from a long line of Dormans.
There's,
Illustrious family. Oh,
yeah. What did you just say?
no, the internet froze again.
Okay. I heard something that was inappropriate, but it made me.
No,
giggle
I
on
don't
the
think I said
inside.
anything terribly inappropriate.
Okay. So, he does let you all in. Marco steps aside. He nods at all of you. And, Johanna, if you try to, like, do any of your, like, charms on just, like, a dainty look or a coy look or anything like that, he is unimpressed. He's like, I have to put up with people like you all day. Get me out of here. No, but inside, you, like, once you're through the door, it's a complete what was the word I'm looking for? It's all, it makes you forget what was outside because everything inside is kind of bizarre because you are backstage at a production, so there's just all kinds of, there's like a 10-foot high wooden house, there's like guys dressed as pharaohs are smoking cigars. It's backstage at a production. So what else is here? Like, they're smoking cigars, playing cards. A trail of stage blood leads underneath a door. There's all kinds of sounds and voices and screams and singing. Sets are being built. Singers ululating as they exercise their throats. Instruments being tuned. Orders shouted and countermanded. It's frantic. It's loud, and it is all around you. Now that you've gone in, so what do you do? Where do you go? Who do you want to talk to?
I'm
Or
gonna
do you just want to look
look
around a little bit, or?
for. I assume her understudy is practicing, or at least there.
Absolutely. You would have to ask around to find her. She is not just out. You wouldn't be sure which one it is.
we need to find the most stressed-looking individual at the clipboard. That person will know where everybody else
Why
is.
don't
That's a
just
solid point.
just for giggles, why don't you all give me your essentially your insight roll? So your psychology, or again, I always allow the other whatever it is.
I'm gonna use a reroll.
Yeah, psychoanalysis.
Revna, I'm using one of my personal rerolls.
Okay. Yes, you all have personal rerolls.
I'm letting Revna know since she is our bookkeeper, and which I desperately appreciate.
Yes.
Since I don't speak Italian, I failed.
Okay.
Yeah, I failed it too.
I
got a hard success.
Nice. Nice, ladies. Okay. So I'm going to say that as you're going through here, you're getting a lot of, especially you, Cleo, just because of the nature of your abilities. The mood and the energy coming off the cast and the crew is a mixture of sadness and confusion. You expect that a lot of this is due to the fact that their star, their beloved Caterina Cavallaro, is missing. There's also a lot of anticipation of how the performance is going to go, and the pre-performance, which and there's excitement. You see a number of people gathering together. Sometimes they are singing together and rehearsing lines, rehearsing harmonies, and then you have others that are gathering together to cry. There's just a lot happening around. There are pictures of Katerina everywhere, garlanded with roses and ribbons, and almost like little tribute in memoriam kind of things. Even though she's not, as far as anybody knows, there's been no evidence that she is dead or anything, but they are definitely concerned for her. As you see cast members walking by and pressing their fingers to their lips and then to the pictures, as almost in a very reverent way, or almost religious reverence and deference to these images. You're constantly, as you're looking around and looking for either the stage manager or her understudy, you're constantly being run past and shoved as people are, you're in the way right now, to be quite frank. Marco did you a solid. Let's see. Yeah, you see all kinds of you see all kinds of stuff. In fact, as you're going through, Kelsey, you're looking around and somebody bumps into you and they're carrying an armful of like plaster cast limbs and like body parts. And I'm gonna have you give me a dodge roll because they hit you pretty solid.
Dodge.
Cursed.
God, no.
Elsie gets knocked down, passes out, and dies. It's gonna be great. Make a new character.
Well, his arm's gonna hurt again.
My dodge is a 65.
Okay.
For a regular success, I rolled a 94.
Okay. Yeah, so you get knocked over and you kind of land on, you kind of clamber into this person that clambered into you. You kind of collide, you fall, you are kind of covered in these plaster cast limbs and stuff. I actually want you to roll me a sanity roll because you start to have kind of a flashback to the arm in the ground.
I am real curious if there's a prop or a set piece that looks a little too real.
And as
maybe not so plaster?
75, that's a regular success.
Okay, so I'm gonna say you don't lose any, but you are like, you fall over, they fall over, the limbs are all around you. There is just suddenly, because you knock into a cabinet or a shelving unit, and like all these like mannequin heads fall on you, and you're just covered in all of these fake body parts for a little bit.
What the hell? What?
And he is your private investigator, ladies and gentlemen.
Just oozing confidence and competence.
Can I get can I get a luck roll from all of you as you navigate this labyrinthine?
Oh, now I get the good roll.
I got a hard success.
Hard success?
17. I can't math that.
Regular success.
Hard success.
Cleo, are you okay?
I'm trying to math
Yeah.
the luck roll.
Aren't you capped out at 99?
I am at 99. Yeah,
So
that's
as
an
long
extreme
as
success.
it's,
I rolled a 10.
I was gonna say, if it's less than 20, you're good.
Yeah, extreme
So-
success.
All right.
That's math.
Emily starts to drift off from the crowd, but I'm sure that somebody grabs her so she doesn't get lost. But the rest of you manage to navigate pretty well. Like I said, Emily starts to turn down a different way, but somebody nabs her and keeps her on track. But yeah, you finally get to an area where you think you're finding, these are the people that aren't necessarily in costume, aren't practicing singing, but are going over papers, clipboards, stuff like that. And you do happen upon the music director first before anybody else. And he looks up and he's like, who are you? What are you doing here? Why are you here?
All right. All right. I'm not gonna use my real name.
Gotta have this ready.
I know. Well, because I'm like, how stupid is this? All right, I'm not gonna do the full thing. Hi, I'm Aaron Haskins.
Aaron Haskins. Okay.
Yeah, that's what I was struggling with. Do I want to use the full name from the first campaign or not? And I'm a private investigator hired by the Rinaldi Stalled family to help locate your missing soprano.
And I need a credit rating or a persuade. Why don't my Richie people give me a credit rating and preen a little bit, and then you give me a persuade, Kelsey?
Persuade. Yeah, I'm looking for where my persuade is.
There's no charming Arturo Toscanini.
I have nothing in persuade.
Nothing.
I got
Nothing. I'm at 10.
Okay. Well, take a bonus die because Johanna's preening, so and got an extreme success.
Okay.
Like just standing in the background petting my cat.
The fucking cat.
We did not bring a cat with us. It is back at the penthouse because
No persuade. I have not enough. I'm not wasting all my luck to spend down 30 points to get a success on that.
He looks past you. Trying to see, do I have stats for him? Okay, I don't know what languages he speaks, so we're gonna assume that he can speak English to some degree. But he's going to look past you, Kelsey, at the Countess and say something in Italian.
Fair.
Do I hear the Italian?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and he's looking straight at you, like he ignores. He's like, I don't know who the fuck this guy is.
I will step forward and speak to him I'll start in French. Like, do you speak French, sir?
He kind of
and then I'll switch to German. Do you speak German better, perhaps?
Oh, German. Yeah, he's definitely more Italian. He'll be like, okay, well, if your friend here speaks English, I suppose we can speak English.
I apologize. I know it's not nearly as dignified as
why are you backstage at my production if you cannot even speak Italian?
We met Katerina a couple of nights ago. We had discussed some things
Katerina,
while we were.
have you seen her?
We saw her on the train, the Orient Express. She offered us a hotel and tickets and general friendship. And when we got here, finding out that she's missing, I was concerned. I've employed Mr. Haskins here to act as a private investigator for my family to look into this. I know that the police are doing what they can, but sometimes I know that they have a lot to do, especially with the current climate here. And I thought this would be the most expedient way to look into this. Mr. Haskins is many things, but an Italian speaker he is not, unfortunately. Neither am I, for that matter.
I was going to say, nor are you, as far as I can tell. Well, this is fine. This is fine. Well, I have not seen her, and you have not seen her for 2 days.
That is correct. I was hoping more along the lines, I believe Mr. Haskins' line of inquiry was to try and find from the cast members if they knew what a gentleman that she might have gotten into the car with.
Oh,
is that right, Mr. Haskins, or am I bungling this up? I know that this is your forte, not mine.
Gentlemen, because, I mean, the accounts that we have is that she wasn't exactly forced into the car, so if she knew whoever it was that was in the Alfa Romeo.
Why don't we make this simpler? Are there any patrons that she was particularly friendly with?
I mean, all of the patrons tended to take an interest in her. You know, of course, there's Miss Signore Fascia. There is shit. What was that guy's name? I just lost his name. There's Signor Conti. There's also the Tochis. I mean, have you spent much time in Milan, Miss?
No, my family is originally from here, but that's been centuries ago.
Katerina is beloved here. Her absence is truly devastating to the production, but thankfully she is not the only soprano in Milan. But as far as patrons that may have taken an interest in her, I do believe Mr. Conti was interested in. He had tuberculosis. Well, they said he had tuberculosis for a while, but he apparently did not. He seemed fine when he came the other night, or last night.
Above the table, do we know what part is here?
No.
What part is here?
No, the statue.
We just know that there is a part here.
There's rumored to be a part. You connected some dots that made you feel like that the part was the thing that was affecting the whole city. I believe there was some speculation as to maybe it's a larger part than an arm since it's affecting a greater area, or there was also discussion that perhaps it is in a part of the city that is allowing somehow for that signal to be, that corruption to be amplified.
Yeah,
but you don't know what part it is.
Because of the constructions, something could have been around it and shattered when they were doing the stuff, yeah.
So, in fact, do you need a rundown of what parts are still in the wind?
All of them except the left hand.
There's the right arm, the torso, it's called the belly, the head, and the two legs.
So is it two? Are the legs split off? Or are they considered a group? Because I mean, we specifically have the right arm, the left arm, but when we were going through the scrolls, it doesn't mention the legs as being separate entities.
You right, and
the number of stops that it suggests in the module, I think they're one unit.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
Just the hips and down.
I've got left arm, torso, left leg, right arm, and head. So there are 6 parts.
Okay.
Both sets
only
of
5
limbs.
scrolls, right?
Yes, because I believe the scrolls
are grouped.
It's head, belly, legs.
Head, belly, legs, arm, right hand, left hand. Yeah. So the legs are as far as the notes that you got from Professor Smith and his buddy, whose name I can't. Beddoes. I was going to call him Bedfellows, and I was like, no. I mean, but no.
That's what we made it into.
That's what we made it into. But yeah, Beddoes, the notes that he could, of Professor Smith's that he shared with you, did indicate that it was only the 5 scrolls, but that the legs, when the statue, because remember the statue was parted out by the soldiers that came in and ransacked Fenelix's mansion. So they busted the legs off separately. Okay. But the scroll considers them a singular item.
Well, because that's why I was
curious. They just Barbie dolled it, They were just like little brother with the Barbie doll.
Right. That's why I was considering it, because like the torso is a big chunk, but if both legs are together, that's a big chunk too.
It could be a big chunk as well. Yes. So,
Why can't evil do pocket-sized?
Never. Never. So yeah. But he says, I have not seen her. As far as someone that, a patron, you know, perhaps Mr. Conti, he did just return. But, I mean, that doesn't really make sense either, since he was there last night and she's been missing since yesterday, so.
Do you know of any of her... anyone in a former relationship with her that might also have interest in seeing her again?
Countess, correct?
Yes.
Forgive me for making an assumption, but if you disappeared tomorrow, would anyone you know be able to list all of your lovers?
Yes, actually.
Emily's head just peeks it.
Kind of her job description, yes. But I get your point. I know that she's
a very beautiful woman who is known to many.
And I would hope that maybe some of her friends on the cast could at least point us to someone. If there was someone that had popped up more recently, even.
Or did she have a messy breakup with anybody that they could have?
So, and he'll go on to tell you. He says, so Katerina is a wonderful singer, and she's very gracious, and she has a lot of compassion, but she doesn't have a lot of capacity for much outside of her own desires and her own interests. The cast loves her. We all love her, and she loves everyone else kind of as a maybe a monarch loves her people. Does that... So as far as her having close friends among the cast outside of her entourage, she doesn't. We are set pieces in Katerina's opera. But I have an understudy to get ready. She's very talented. It will be the show must go on. And is there anything else? I don't know the names of any lovers. I don't know if any of the cast would be able to give you that kind of information. You as her friend should probably know more than I do, to be very honest.
Well, I think we all appreciate your time. And I know that your show has a lot of work to do to replace her if need be. Hopefully we'll make that unneeded.
And he bids you farewell. But as you start to leave, he goes, I do want to assure you that the question about the patrons and the opera house and things of that nature, we sent no car for her.
I assumed if you had, you wouldn't be as concerned as you are right now.
I might be more concerned.
It's true.
If it was one of ours.
Thank you again, Mr.
Paolo?
Jesus.
No, what is his fucking name?
I was going to call him Confetti, and that is not the right name.
No, it's Toscanini.
Toscanini.
Arturo Toscanini.
Yeah, Don Confetti is a mob boss in a different game altogether.
Don Confetti.
Mm-hmm.
Sounds like a good time. Would you like to try to talk to anyone else here?
Was this conversation... Are we still in, like, technically in the backstage area of the stage itself?
You are, yeah. It's a massive, massive building. It sticks out like a sore thumb in Milan.
Leo, while they're, she's not charming anybody, is, maybe standing there with them so she's not, so somebody doesn't like pick her up for like wandering around backstage or whatever. But she's kind of looking around at the set pieces, at props, at anything that makes its way onto the stage, and kind of just generally doing like a spiritual check-in, just looking to see, like, I don't know, is there a statue with a weird fucking leg?
Okay.
Or like a weird head hanging out.
Or a weird belly. We don't judge.
We don't judge. We don't judge.
Or a weird vibe in general from
sure.
the
You do pick up a weird vibe from, as you're kind of walking back through the maze of this backstage area. You start picking up you kind of pick up some energy off this guy. And he is clearly very busy, and he's the guy with the clipboard that's pointing around. You did not see him on your first pass through, but he's here now. And anybody who has familiarity with the stage productions and things, in fact, do any of you have any familiarity with stage productions in game?
Oh,
sorry, I know you do.
I was like,
God damn. Alyssa's like, duh.
Sorry.
Yes. Don't understand the question.
I fucking do. We talk about it all the time.
All the time. Probably not.
Probably not. Would
she may go to she may go to the theater.
Yeah. She's like, I saw. I don't know what's a play that would be around at this time, where the.
Well, any of the classic operas would still be around during that time.
Well, yeah, I know that, but I'm trying to think what she would have seen in Danvers, Massachusetts.
Like, probably Shakespeare.
Like Yankee Doodle Dandy or something.
You know?
Johanna, do you have any stage? I mean, you go a lot.
Yeah, I've never been. I mean, I'm sure I've been behind stage. I don't know how it works. Like, you don't ask how the sausage is made. You just enjoy the sausage.
That's true. Well, Cleo, you notice this guy, and he's like kind of barking out orders, and he's like motioning for people, and he's trying to like direct. You see him like trying to like direct this thing over here, but as he's doing it, he gets distracted, and he's over here, and he seems like he knows something. I'm trying to think. God, none of you speaking Italian is super suck. So
I do speak French and Swiss, which are very close.
We know enough other Italian or like
enough other
general,
Latin languages.
Yeah, Latin languages. We can cobble something together.
I do also speak Latin, so like I got next to it and behind it.
You also see some older workers, kind of talking over in the corner, and I'm gonna say that you hear something, Johanna. Actually, all of you give me listen rolls. Any of you that have any of the Latin languages, give me listen rolls. Cleo, I'm sorry.
I mean, does that include French then?
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
French is part of the Romance language family.
You know what? Go ahead and give me a listen roll, Cleo, because maybe you hear the word that you might hear might trigger something. That might be a word that
spaghetti,
you know.
lasagna. Those are my Italian words. Lasagna.
I mean, okay.
Capolini.
A hard success.
Okay.
Where's my
or
listen?
Murder? I don't know.
I lost my listen. Where's my listen?
It's
There,
alphabetical.
Yeah, no, I found it. 41. I got a hard success.
Yes, exactly. Oh.
You got a hard success. So everybody succeeded?
Yeah.
Just regular success though.
Okay, that's fine. You all vaguely pick up on something that maybe sounds like in your limited language, if you hear something that makes you go, that sounds like this other word, and as you're walking, you kind of pass by them, but as you kind of walk away, the parts fall into place in your head, and you hear the words costumier. That's not how you say that word, but that's how I said it. And you hear the word curse.
Cleo, are you familiar with curses having to do with costumes or costumers? This is a play thing. I'm not honestly familiar.
I mean, I'm familiar with the idea that theatrical houses often have histories of curses or ghosts or you know, you don't say the name of the Scottish play in a theater. I mean, that's a little bit.
Would you like
of a
to
fairy
learn
tale,
about
but...
costume, Kursk? And I'll like turn and walk towards the workers.
Those of you that speak Latin languages, what did you... give me again your level of successes.
Mine was a regular success.
Regular.
Kelsey got a hard one. Kelsey, actually, you pieced together that the people that were talking, the group of the older folks, men and women that were having what they believed was a quieter conversation. The other man comes over, the one that you saw that was trying to direct a lot of things. He's like, "We do not have time to speak about this. They're off the production. We have to just move on." And he's like, "We don't have time to talk about." And he reiterates, "We do not have time to talk about the curse. It's stupid. I already had to give an article about it. I already gave an interview about it. It's dumb. Let's move on. We have things to do."
Article for what?
I don't.
Was it the scoop?
Les Scoop.
Les Scoop.
I mean, are you gonna ask, Emily?
Yes.
Excuse me. Who are you?
Does it matter? We're working on a missing persons case. You want your prima donna back, yes? Or whatever the equivalent is in opera.
We have so many. Yes, divas, I believe. We have so many. We have so many divas. Losing one, whatever. You know, there will be another one tomorrow. And he says, "Okay, I have a moment. What? The interview I gave, it's just for the newspaper. It'll appear tomorrow. It's just some stupid."
Why don't you give us a rundown and we'll get out of your hair?
Or at least the name of the costumer.
Okay, fine. And he basically says, because there were, he says there have been reports of weird things happening in the theater. It's all the. If you've ever spent time around the theater, there's always rumors of like ghosts and supernatural and phenomena and things like that. Even Toscanini, he gives into some of it, but he also feels like it's a load of shit. But there's been talk that there's been a ghost voice heard in the Galleria at night. That, but it's bullshit. I don't know. But we had an issue. We've had an ongoing issue with the costumers, and where they have strange. I don't know, they just become ill, and so we've lost another one, and so they've had to leave the production. They're ill, and they have to go deal. So, but it doesn't stop the work, even with Cavallaro gallivanting around wherever the hell she is. The show must go on.
Would it be possible for us to see where they work? It would make your life so much easier.
And what
there might be asbestos or something similar.
Asbestos? I don't even know what that is. What?
It's alright, it hasn't been invented yet.
Can one of you? You don't have to actually roleplay this out unless you really want to. But can one of you tell me who you are? Does one of you explain?
I will step forward.
Because Emily's just like, I've overheard what you're saying, and I want you to tell me things.
I will step forward.
So much time here.
And introduce myself to introduce Mr. Haskins as our private investigator.
Okay. He goes on, and I'm just going to give you a paraphrase of what he's basically like, over the last 6 years, we've had several productions that I have not been able to keep a costume designer for more than 3 months. Every time I get one, they fall ill, they get sick, they suffer a profound disillusionment with their craft. It's ridiculous. I've never experienced this anywhere. It's just a thing that I've had to deal with. But he says we've had him come down with pneumonia, gastroenteritis, appendicitis, asthma. Some of them have developed like a skin condition. He looks kind of grossed out about it.
Sounds like they're unsafe working conditions.
Well, maybe, but we've
Perhaps
investigated.
A certain mold.
as a stage manager, I will tell you that I have done my due diligence to make sure that things are proper, and I've talked to the building manager, and we have found nothing that would. And if it was such a thing, would not anyone else be afflicted? Why is it always just my lead costumer and my costume designer? Always.
Well, where's it working? What is unique about their situation?
They're
Her
just
sewing machine? I don't know.
Are they locked away in a basement where it's dark and damp and prone to illness?
I mean, let me see, where's the fucking costume department? This thing is looks like this, and it's handwritten. It's handwritten. That's props. Costumery is on the 3rd floor. It is up in the top. So yeah, all the way up in the tops. If you guys want to go up there, he can give you a quick rundown.
Terrible place to put your fucking costume space, because then you have to make everybody in probably heels like walk down all of those stairs and then walk up all of the stairs at the end of the fucking day.
This is the 20s. This is Milan. Pain before beauty. Or beauty before pain.
Have you seen Milan? It's very dark and depressing. It's like the beauty is all gone.
He goes, thankfully, my newest costume designer seems to be immune to whatever curse this is, so that's good. There are, what does that say? Oh, sorry. Yeah, they seem to be immune, but if you would like to go check out the costumery to see if there's mold, then please have at it. I'm just imagining David Rose from Schitt's Creek is who you're talking to. He gives a name. His name is Paolo Risconti, and if you guys want to go to the costumery, we shall do that after a break. You guys, this is probably a good place for a break. You've harried this man suddenly. This German woman has come over and been like, "Hey, what are you talking about? Tell me about your character."
This is very important. Well, it's because Emily's done with like all this fancy talk. She's just leaning hard into the intimidate, looming over this man and be like,
"Hello,
tell us what we want to know, and we'll leave,
and we'll not kill you. We will not become your curse." No,
Hey.
no. I said we, not you. But
no killing needed if they answer our questions in a timely manner.
and he did. He says the costumery is on the 3rd floor. Please climb the stairs yourself. It's fine. Can you do that with your cane, miss?
Yes, but you will hear about it.
Okay, we do need to take a break real fast. I need to go to the restroom. I've been over here jiggling my foot for a while because I'm like, stopping place. Come back in 10. I'll give you some brief announcements, but thank you all for being here. Stick around. Love you guys. Hello, and welcome back to Horror on the Orient Express. I am your host, Rue, and these are my lovely players, and 4 of my favorite people in the world. So, now that you're caught up, no, brief announcements for the channel. This week is a light week. We don't have a lot as far as shows go. Anything on this channel. Tomorrow night you will be streaming Celasta, you think? Is that what you said?
I'm not sure what I'm streaming tomorrow night yet, but I will be streaming. We would love it if people would show up. I am so close to affiliate, and I just really need to check a couple of boxes, which isn't much work. If you guys want to come over and check that out and maybe hit the follow button, because follows are always good. You can even do that now. You can just click on my name right there.
Yep.
Go follow, come back.
Yep, twitch.tv/QG Entertainment. He is QG Entertainment in the chat right now. You can, just go follow his Twitch channel. I believe, is it 70 or 50 that you need?
It's 50, and I think I'm at 50, but you never know when a follower's going to drop off.
It's going to drop. So yeah, if we could just boost him up a little bit over that would be great.
But tomorrow night, we're either playing Jackbox games,
That's
which
right,
means there can be some audience participation, or I'm going to play Celasta Crown of the Magister, which is a D&D 5e video game that is really well done and a lot of fun, and sassy as hell if you take the right backgrounds.
Sassy as hell.
It's great.
I did forget. We do have a game on Tuesday night. Pirates ended. My brain disconnected. Tuesday night we have Post-Apocalyptic Jukebox, which is a brand new show that just premiered last week with GM... our storyteller Darren, and then we have a great cast over there. It's Christy, Corey, Ted, and Aaron, and it is a unique show. It is a Savage Worlds Adventure Edition homebrew game in obviously a post-apocalyptic setting. There's a little robot that follows there's a little chatbot that follows the group around. You can actually drop messages to the cast via that little chatbot. You also can donate, I believe, to change the music, which changes the tone of the scene. And they immediately have to kind of switch gears and react to that. So if that sounds like something you're interested in, come on and check it out. That's Tuesday night at 7 p.m. or 8 p.m. here, 8 p.m. Eastern here on twitch.tv/RickandRasp. And then we also have on Saturday, we don't have anything else until Saturday. Saturday, Seriously Let's Play is finally back with Return to the Stars by Festive Ninja. And the creators will actually be running that game for us. So please come out, support independent game designers and publishers, and let's play some games. So,
Roxy.
Yes.
Does your husband have a Kickstarter that's active right now?
He do. He do. There is a current. So if you all you have
to do is click the link I put in the chat. You're welcome.
There you go. Click the link that Matt put in the chat there. It is a Kickstarter for his game Gutter Punk, which is a multi-dimensional adventure
about fighting the man.
Fighting authority with magic, music, and attitude. Get it down, guys. We only worked a con booth all last week, and I just played Keyforge, so enjoy. but yes, please go. It has had a stellar first week. We funded, I think within the first 24 hours, it was at 300% funded. We are just shy of 500%. If anybody here that is not already backed that is interested in perhaps backing that now, you could just push us right over the line for that 500%. And he's been working real hard on it for a couple years now. We've got great art, more art to come based on how well the funding has gone, and it'll be running, I think, through the beginning of December. I think December 5th is our closing date, so you got time, but better back.
Also, super inexpensive. You can get in for $10 for PDF.
Absolutely.
And if you want your own character included in the book, there's one slot left.
There's one slot left for that custom character. So, get over there and check it out.
It's gone.
Oh, it's gone now.
I thought it said 4 or 5 still.
Oh, maybe I misread that. Reading is hard.
Never mind, there is one left.
Yes, there is one left.
Hop over there now, grab it before it's gone. But yeah, thank you so much for supporting John and Gutter Punk and everything that we're trying to do in that regard. We really, really appreciate it. We have a wonderful community, and we thank you for telling your friends. John will be appearing on a couple shows this week. He'll be on Random Worlds tomorrow night. Is that streamed? Oh no, it's if you're part of the Random Worlds Discord, which if you jump into our Discord, we can hook you up with that info. He will be giving an interview over there live in their Discord tomorrow night, and then on Wednesday he's going to appear on Twitch, I believe, with it's called Detention at the RPG Academy. Thanks. Where they're going to interview him. Michael Ross will be interviewing him about Gutter Punk. And that will eventually be a podcast, but if you'd like to see it live, check it out Wednesday night. So again, jump into our Discord or ping us on any of the social medias. We're everywhere at Rook and Rasp, or you can contact me at Ruworks. We'll give you all the info. So thank you all for being here. And without further ado, let's get back to it. So the 4 of you are at the Teatro alla Scala. You have talked to the music director. You have talked to the stage manager. And you have been informed of something that some of them call the costumier's curse, which seems to cause lead costume designers afflictions. But somehow he mentions that the latest costume designer is not dealing with that yet, but you never know. Maybe it's just too soon. And you wanted to climb the stairs up to the 3rd floor to check out the costumery. So
on the way up, I'm just gonna make the comment to our group because we're by ourselves on the way up, right? No one's following us or taking us there.
No, I mean there's probably people kind of like coming behind, but yeah, nobody. He gave you simple instructions. He's like a left, a right, up 3 flights of stairs, and you're there.
I'm just gonna say, did you know when he was listing the ailments of all these costumers that they were all torso afflictions, asthma, what was the other one? Asthma,
gastroenteritis, pneumonia.
Yeah, no, not typhoid. Jeez,
tuberculosis.
Thank you. So we may be dealing with the torso here. If
there was no tuberculosis mentioned, by the way,
there was on the other dude,
Mr. Conti.
Oh. Yeah,
I thought you said
it wasn't one of the ones that I listed here.
Oh, I thought it was. I'm sorry, my bad.
Well, and if all of the torso, if the torso is here and Mr. Conti has suddenly gotten better, I would be interested to see if he is connected to this as well.
I agree.
He is our most likely suspect.
You don't think that they're using the torso up there as a mannequin dummy, do you?
That was my first thought. That was my first thought.
Well, this is why I wanted to check the space. Also, if somebody has recently come in and is not being affected, perhaps it is already gone.
Maybe that's why Mr. Conti suddenly got better. He provided someone with the statue and they fixed him?
It
does seem that the occult has a lot of ties to the rich. I'm concerned about that. What that says about my peerage.
That they want more power and they'll do anything for it?
Anyway, moving on.
Anyway, it's still worth checking out this space.
No, absolutely.
Agreed.
All right. So you get you head on up. You kind of have to weave your way along narrow corridors lined with anonymous doors, climb rickety flights of stairs, and you kind of have to make choices at intersections, just to neglectfully unmentioned in the instructions that Pialo or Shanti gave you. But you get there. It's a lot quieter up here. You are, again, 3 floors up or 3 levels up from where the backstage madness was occurring. So most of the people here seem to be stationary and quiet. Just a second, sorry. It was a client and I had to get it real fast. The life of a freelancer. Always on call. Let's see. But yeah, they're mostly stationary and quiet. You make it to the costumier's room. It's about the size of a Pullman carriage. It's not. I don't know what that is, but it's not super big.
Okay.
Matt, you look it up.
You said the size of a Pullman carriage, and then paused, and I'm like, does anyone actually know what the size of a Pullman carriage is?
But it's filled with material, pins, designs, and cotton. I'm sure somebody does.
It's a train car. It's
it's not small, but it's not.
So, like, it's long and narrow.
It's a train
basically.
game, of course it is. Did you think it was like a hansom?
So it's long and narrow, basically.
Yeah. The costumes are stored elsewhere, but they are made here. So in the room are 6 dressmakers. They're hunched over working on things. There are dummies as well, adorned with costumes in various states of development. Give me a spot hidden. I assume you're going to look at the dummies. The dressmakers are like...
The dice have spoken. It is a natural one.
Oh, well, that's good. I got an extreme success as well.
I got a 5.
I got a 2. We're
After
doing.
all my shit rolls.
We spotted the crap out of this thing.
Yeah,
I am
we
so
spotted
sorry.
hard in this room.
So
It's
sorry, guys.
nothing.
They're
There's
all
nothing.
wooden. I'm so sorry. I should have made you roll for it. I should have just told you to look
We
at it.
all got an extreme success
Just
on
say
board.
it now.
We're gonna fail every single roll.
I know, I fucked up. I said 6. There are only 4 women working in here. One is young, Luisa Viconti. She smokes and is drawing at a desk. I will say, because I forgot to tell you, but this is the new lead costume designer. Paolo mentioned it downstairs.
And you said
the
she's
one
young?
who seems. Yeah, compared to the other 2. The other are 3 elderly women. The book describes them as ancient. it says 3 elderly
So they're
women.
like 40.
Yeah. God, they're younger
Ancients.
than I am.
Ancients dressed in black who busy themselves at the dummies like dwarves dressing magicians and princesses.
Is that what the book
So,
says? Really?
That is literally what the book says. They are small elderly women. It is terrible. This book is bad. Guys, I read off the page. That is not a Rue being an asshole. They are tiny, and they work nimbly. And they're just skittering about, doing their thing. Hello? Can I help? She actually speaks in Italian first. Does anybody make clear that you don't speak
I
Italian?
will respond back in French.
Then if there's no recognition, I'll respond in English.
If it makes you feel any better, Roxy, this Milan was part of the Austro-Hungarian Empire until like 1871, and then was French, and then became Italian. Like,
Yeah, they will
Milan
probably
is not
speak
exactly-
German.
yeah,
They probably do. But she definitely speaks English. Some of these people do not. Like on their cards, they do not speak those languages.
sure,
So
no, that's fair.
So and these Call of Cthulhu is really good about making languages important. For
Which is why I
characters.
made my character a linguist and then failed to pick up one language we obviously needed. I took
Yeah.
Swiss instead.
Y'all should have just looked at the map. Where's the train gonna go?
I did, and I was like, you know what? We're going to end up in Switzerland, and we're not going to be able to speak to them. I'm just going to take Swiss. Somebody will take
And
Italian,
in
right?
Switzerland, they speak French
Yeah.
and
that was-
German.
Well, now we know.
And knowing's half the battle.
that's true.
But yeah, when Kelsey responds in English, she's like, Oh, okay, I can speak that. Do all of you speak English or?
We.
She seems bemused by your comment. She, she's like, "Can I help you? I was not told that anybody would be. Are you on a tour? You have no guide."
Actually, we're just looking for more information on the disappearance of Katerina.
Okay. I do not know where Katerina is. I hardly interact with her except to do fittings. I have not.
The interest that brought us up here was the strange occurrences with the previous lead designers.
Oh. Well, I'll be honest. I am proud to say that I have not experienced any sort of affliction or ailments as my predecessors. I have remained in good health long past the times that they did. Go
How long
ahead.
have you been in this position, if you don't mind us asking?
I'm going to say I've been here for 18 months. But before me, they had a ridiculous turnover. I think the numbers the ladies have mentioned has been like 20 within the last like 3 years. But
That's concerning.
You're telling me. As you're in this room and y'all are talking to her and you're kind of keeping an eye on things. You do notice that it's very, very cold in here. If anyone would finds that interesting, just let me know. But yeah, it's cold in here. But she continues to talk, and she's like, as far as Katerina's concerned, I mean, it's sad and all, but the Toscanini says that the show must go on. So I tend to agree with Paolo that maybe doing Aida tomorrow night is not a good look. But what do you do?
Is there a reason it's so cold in here? Like, do they have all the windows open?
Give me a spot hidden.
Okay. Because it could just be because
Can
people
we
have to wear
just use our
heavy-ass
really
costumes.
good? Can we use our really good spy hidden rolls from earlier?
Yeah, you know what? You can. You all notice that there is a door to the fire escape that is ajar. There's some sunlight out there, but it is January. Yeah, the door, and she notices you looking, and she's like, that damn thing never shuts right. Is there anything else I can help you with? Would you...
Do you mind
Leo's
if I...
gonna
No.
take a look at the door.
Yeah.
Okay. Louisa will also say the ladies will could speak to you at more length about the curse if you want. I can serve as translator. They only speak Italian. If you would like to speak to them.
I think that would be interesting. And above the table, the changes Milan has been kind of having. What is there any sort of indication of when that may have started? Like historically, like the I guess I want to say the fascist movement, was it?
Yeah. So
I'm just trying to see if like the timeline of her starting here lines up with anything else in the grand.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I mean there is some shit going on. So Italy is in the midst of a political change in 23 as Benito Mussolini continues his rise to power. Milan was actually his base until his move to Rome in October of 22.
So like 4 months ago.
Yeah, and the Black Shirts had their first rally here. They've been there since 1919. So, yeah, and they're not looked on favorably. There's a lot of really dark shit that they're doing to people. But yeah, you have noticed a rise of nationalism. There is a rise of nationalism at this time in Italy. A lot of foreign visitors didn't see that it was a bad thing. But Yeah, so there's just some shit going on in that regard. Does that answer your question? Her arrival doesn't really coincide with anything.
Looking at the costumes, are they of the quality you would expect?
Oh, they're very nice. Very
Okay.
nice. The three little women
Mhm.
they do fantastic work. And in fact, she's drawing the costumes, and she does do fittings and actual, she does, she actually sews them and things, but the women are definitely the ones who do the bulk of the labor. Were you going to talk to them? Because if not, that's fine. I just want to know if you guys are just going to focus on the door and ignore the old ladies. That's cool.
I guess we could split it up. Two of us talk to the old ladies to check out the door.
Okay.
Yeah.
Old
yes.
ladies are your thing, Kelsey.
I'll talk to the old ladies.
They might be forthcoming, considering your charm.
And one old lady flirts with you.
I think it's like 2 at this point.
Yeah.
So is it the old lady?
Let's
and
double those
Kelsey?
numbers.
Is it the old lady and Kelsey looking at the?
I'm gonna
the-
stay near Kelsey,
the old
but I'm
woman,
gonna
or-
peruse the costumes that are hanging.
Okay.
Just like nothing. Like I'm not taking them off the hangers or anything unless I find something really interesting. But just like looking through them and judging them clearly.
Okay.
I'm rich. That's what I do.
That's fine. That's fine. You're just like picking through them and like holding it out and being like,
Yeah.
dropping it away. Nice, nice. Power move. Power
Yeah.
move from the young lady. Investigating the door. Who's looking at the door?
If I go to look at the door, can I also hear the conversation?
Yeah, sure.
Okay.
Nobody's being too quiet.
I was checking out the door.
As far as the door is concerned, I'm not even gonna make you give me a roll for it. It's just a door that doesn't shut right. It's as far as you can tell, there's nothing. You don't see any marks on it. You don't see any you don't see like somebody's tampered with it. It's just Louisa has trouble getting it to shut.
Yeah.
All the time.
Yeah, but it's not something that it's like, oh, it shuts fine and then just opens itself.
No. It's like it, if you had to presume, it's like it's swollen a little bit, maybe, or I guess it's winter, so it'd be the opposite.
He swole.
It's unswollen.
Is it something that a mechanical repair check could potentially just fix?
Yeah.
And I'm gonna.
Emily's like, I fix.
I'm gonna ask Cleo, where does that lead? Is it a fire escape? Is it a balcony? Is it?
It's absolutely a fire escape
Okay.
that goes all the way down. Like you can go out and look, and
It's another dream world. Don't worry.
Dream Milan.
We're in
Door of Souls.
We're in Italy, so now it's Le Duc.
Le Duc.
Le Duc. God damn it.
Boo. Boo.
Boo.
Well, if Kelsey and Johanna want to talk to the ladies, I mean, Emily's usually breaking down doors, so fixing them.
I'm
is
going
just-
to make
is
this
just
one be strong
karmic.
enough to not. Yeah.
Well, this is
her
just it's a quick
taking
fix.
the red
You
out of
just
her
have
ledger.
to adjust the hinges here, so this happens very often in older buildings.
Just
Yeah,
imagine Emily sitting at night just writing down about the doors she's broken open. It's the only thing, not the murders, just the doors.
Yeah,
She feels
and
really bad about structural damage.
Tonight she
Look.
crosses one off and she goes, fixed.
I remember.
Doors have history. People are
not.
problems.
I mean, there were souls in that last door that you busted down, so
Oh, we didn't
So
just
go-
break that door. That door got blowed up.
it did. Give me a mechanical repair roll. Y'all.
It's a regular success.
Nice, you fixed it. It's great. It never opens again.
It's now a
And they all
fire
die in
hazard.
here from a fire.
This is the
Yeah, right.
page that has this. For those of you interested in buying a Call of Cthulhu module, this one has boobies on it.
Oh, wait, what?
Literal human boobies. I was surprised the other day when I was prepping. I was like, "Whoa!"
That's the
Didn't
first time
expect
I've
that in
wanted
my-
to read through the module.
we're children here.
Oh, Lord.
Sorry,
Yeah.
all of you that are more mature than we are. Yeah. So those of you that are talking to the old women,
Yeah, we're gonna roleplay a three-way
no, what?
translation conversation. I heard John.
You broke
John's in the
John.
I
wrong
broke
spot.
Yeah, wrong emphasis of the wording. It's usually my job to make terrible.
But as soon as the words came out, I stumbled because I knew exactly how everybody was going to take it.
You just stopped.
Just because my
Like,
brain kicked in,
you
going, "You just said
just-
the dumbest thing ever."
It just kept going. It just kept going and not did the weird pausing talk that I do. No, so the discussion with the old women, Luisa is going to translate for you.
Okay.
They continue their work as they talk, but when they talk, they speak all at the same time. It's just a jumble of voices. So what would you like to ask? Hickory
Was there a
Dickory
strange
and
mannequin here that made everybody sick now?
That's worth asking. There's a mannequin change recently.
Yeah. I mean, that's what I was kind of going with.
Luisa's like, she says something in Italian, probably akin to, they want to know about the dummies. And the old women are like, they're just going on, all talking over each other. And Luisa says, oh, okay. So these 6 dummies are fairly new. They have been here since longer than I have, so they're not that new. But these women have worked for the theater for over 50 years, so new to them may be relative. They do, so that we have these 6. We do have another one, it's a larger one, but it has been, she said that they say that it was taken downstairs some time ago. It's down there somewhere, and strangely, they seem very happy about it, that it was taken away.
So they've been here for 50 years.
Mm-hmm.
And they've never gotten sick or suffered the curse that we heard about?
No, they haven't. It's and one of them kind of talks to Luisa and wants to know what you've asked, and she translates and says something. They have a brief exchange, and she says, yes, they're they believe that they are just too old for whatever is causing an issue. And they know what they're about. They are sure of themselves, and they feel like this keeps them well. And they have another brief exchange, and you see kind of one of the older women is like,
So why are they happy that other mannequin was gone? Was it different? Was it strange? Did it scare them?
She asks, and she tells you it didn't seem to have any effect on them, like allegedly. They believe that it was the reason why it affected the previous costume designers. This seems silly to me. I have been around it. It hasn't been that big of an issue. But it does make them feel uneasy. They didn't like it.
When did it get moved downstairs?
Recently for this production.
I kind of just share a significant look with Johanna.
And I'm sorry, where downstairs was it moved? Do you know?
Oh, I have no idea. And one of the women kind of grabs her arm and says something, and Luisa turns to you and she's like, they always remarked that while it was kind of made them feel uneasy and strange, it was also very useful because costumes that were put on it never needed adjusting. And then Luisa kind of makes like a, I think they've been here a little long. They need a break.
French the only thing that Kelsey speaks besides English? We would have established this by now, right?
Yeah, French is it. Just French and English.
And the lady doesn't speak French. She speaks English, right? Or German.
English and Italian seem to be what she's.
I'll look at Kelsey and in French say, we should find that. I don't know where it is, but even if it's not what we're looking for, there's something going on with it.
Yeah, I actually think it is exactly what we're looking for.
It's not the missing girl.
They did avoid completely telling me where it was at, right? Downstairs.
They don't know.
Yeah, they don't know. They just know it was taken away. It's being used probably, like they presume, and Louisa relays that they presume it's being used as a prop.
Okay.
So when they said, just above the table, when they said that clothes put on it didn't require adjustment, they're talking about like if they had to resize it for somebody, they just put it on there and then it would fit that person, or I'm not sure what you mean by
like
adjust
so
it.
it's the implication is that it's used as like a prop dummy, so they could use it, and so they didn't, so like they could put a suit of armor on it, and or I mean armor is kind of a weird thing, but they could put something on it and have it like sitting in the back and it not actually be a person in there standing for an entire scene. They could put something else on it.
Gotcha.
But
The resizing is probably more also that when they make stuff, they make it to fit someone and then they have them try it on and adjust it, and they probably don't ever have to adjust it because it was on that mannequin. It's the implication.
yeah, I get. Okay, well that's what he just asked me.
Well, who
Doesn't really
dressed
explain.
the mannequin typically? Would it be like the lead costume designer
It'd be
or the
these
women?
ladies. It'd be these women.
Even the big one?
Even the big one. I assume they stand on top of each other. Children in a trench coat. Sorry. Sorry if you're a short person. I apologize. I'm a very rude person.
Well, if they're, are we still doing this in French? So I'm gonna say if they're using it as a prop dummy, it's gonna be backstage on the stage, maybe.
Maybe we can look around. I don't know where they keep those things.
It may be something that we revisit later at night when there's not quite as few nosy individuals around.
Mr. Haskins, I'm not sure that I want to come into a theater at night with a magical dummy.
Don't take offense, Kelsey. She calls everyone.
Yeah. No, magical dummy would be like, that's not nice. She's been very helpful.
Perhaps, but I think that if we find a stagehand and offer them enough money, they would be able to help us find this.
Perhaps.
Estimate that has anything to do with anything.
I'm good to go. I think that they have answered all the questions that we could hope.
Since the door seems to have been a red herring, but it's also a way we can get back in here if we need to.
Although now it closes.
Fixed it.
I was going to say not anymore.
I can unfix it real quick.
It's just
Oops. These old Italian constructions just
Italian
so
construction's
unreliable.
not what it used to be. Louisa, watching you two converse in French, and the three old women watching this are like, is there anything else we can help you with? We do have a production to get ready for, and I was in the middle of working when you interrupted me. I appreciate that you're having this conversation in my office, but could you skedaddle?
I'm good.
Yeah,
I'll head out. Yeah, that's fine.
Yeah, Louisa's
snippy.
like,
Because we talked in front of her in another language she doesn't know.
for like 5 minutes. You guys are having this and good. She's like, get out. So you leave. Do you go anywhere else in the building, or do you leave the building entirely?
Oh no! As we're going down the stairs, I'll explain to them that what's going on, and that we believe this mannequin may have been the thing. Now we need to find a stagehand and offer them cash to help us find it, because a stagehand would know, I assume. Matt has no theater background. Johanna has no theater background, so I feel like I'm pretty solid on role playing that I believe this and it's true.
Okay, good. Yeah. So, do you look for a stagehand?
Yeah.
So if we find a stagehand, how are we taking it? Because I mean, how are we getting it out of here? I'm not touching it.
We can offer to buy it or something. Just
No, that's fine, but I'm still not carrying it. I'm not touching it.
As chaotic as the backstage is, we might be able to just walk out with it.
let's not do that.
So, you look around for stage. There are all kinds of people down here. Ones that definitely look like they're not part of the production cast. That would definitely be more working behind the scenes. So, if you would like to ask any of them, I'm gonna go ahead. Give me, because they're all very busy and they're all very, about important tasks. So, give me some fast talks. Or
Can I roll charm?
Give me a social roll that works for you. Whoever.
I'll give
is
one of them
wanting
the
to talk to
eyes.
people.
Oh, yeah, that's an extreme success. Yeah.
Okay. You catch the eye of a young lad, probably about your age. He was smoking a cigarette, kind of in the shadows, and he comes out and he's like, he says, in Italian, of course, something that you don't understand. And what would you like to do about that?
Does he speak French or German or
English?
Or...
Yes, French, of course.
And I'll
the
say
language of love.
Yes, I will say the language of romance. I'm not going to say the word love. We don't use that word. That's a bad word.
Oh, shame.
I was hoping that you could help me. I am looking for...
I bet I could.
I bet you could. I'm looking for a mannequin that came down from costuming about a short while ago. One that they seem to think was creepy. I assume it's being used as a set piece in scenes. And then I will reach into my pocket, because I am still in business, like nice suit attire. Reach into my pocket, pull out whatever cash I have there, and take a little bit of it and give it to him. Don't care how much it is, as long as it doesn't seem too low, and too low is probably still high.
No burger bucks here.
He sees the money, tucks his cigarette in the corner of his mouth, and he's like, he counts it, and he's like, I haven't been paid for services before, but I'm open to whatever you have in mind. Would have worked for free. But no, he says, a dummy? A mannequin, you say? Like,
yes.
I mean, we've had several that have come down from costuming. There was actually one that was mangled pretty badly and thrown out. Just like earlier this week.
I'll lean in close and say, I'm a big fan of the esoteric.
Oh.
And the ladies up in costuming said that it gave them the creeps, and I was hoping to see this.
Have you seen those ladies up in costuming?
Yes, all three of them.
They give me the creeps.
Yes, so it's concerning that... I just find this of interest. Do you think that was the one that was thrown out?
We have so many prop dummies around here. I bet the props manager would probably know better than I would. I really don't know. But perhaps we can talk about this over, I don't know, wine.
Oh, I don't.
Pasta.
I'm sorry.
Cannolis.
Espresso. Can I take you for an espresso in the morning?
The props manager. Could you point him out? Or have we met the props manager?
You have not. The props manager, and he's like, oh, well, good fucking luck talking to him. He's just like running everywhere. Maybe come back tomorrow. I haven't seen him in a few hours.
It's unfortunate. I'm going to be hungover tomorrow from a nice dinner with a sweet man, I'm sure. But perhaps if I could speak with him first, then I wouldn't have to worry about tomorrow.
I wish I could help you.
Yes, I wish you could too. And I will lightly pat him on the cheek and walk off.
Do let him keep his money.
Yeah, I don't care. It's just money.
He counts it again and he puts it in his pocket and watches you walk away.
Yeah, he does.
Yeah. Honestly, anybody that you talk to, so all of the stagehands that you mentioned, they mentioned several mannequins that they've seen and they kind of point some out. But
dude, does anyone mention when the one that was broken was thrown out?
He said like in the last week. He said, but that kind of thing happens all the time. You know, sandbags fall sometimes, props get dropped.
Nothing creepy. None of them.
No, not really. No, nobody
particularly big.
I mean, some of them think that they know of which one you talk of, and they're like, I haven't seen it in a while. Nobody really has any info on it. Some might try to help you a little bit more, but they have a hard time finding it, and the props manager is nowhere to be found at the moment.
How long was Katarina gone from the show?
Well, the show is not opened yet.
Right, but there would have been rehearsal, so she would have been missing from rehearsal.
Right, so she went to
Paris.
She went to Paris. She has not shown up since she was supposed to have arrived yesterday. So she's been missing for a little over 24 hours.
Right. So how long was she in Paris? I guess is what I'm asking.
Oh shit! Fuck! I don't fucking know.
27 days, 13 hours, and 6 minutes.
Why are you asking? I guess is.
So
I
think what I'm thinking is that she left. This mannequin came downstairs. Conti, which is
the patron,
strangely close to Compt.
Okay, I see what you're. I see.
Yeah.
And there's a whispering voice that they hear at night.
So
it's not a whispering. Okay, when he talks about that, they think they hear singing.
Oh.
They think they hear the aria of Aida being sang.
So that mannequin went missing. Conti suddenly got better, and now he invited people over to his house last night for.
Well, he showed up at a party at the
theater. He showed up. I thought it was his party, but
no,
he got better from tuberculosis, which you don't get better from. It is not possible.
Presumed tuberculosis.
Right. Well,
clearly it wasn't. He was fine.
No.
Consumption has a look, and if people thought he had consumption, it has a look.
Okay.
Yeah, they were pretty astute about it back then.
The theory I'm positing is that Katarina was holding back with her singing whatever was going on with that prop. She left. It was tossed out because it was freaking somebody out, and then Conti took it and has healed himself from it somehow. I don't know. Cult magic.
I mean that's a good theory.
Lead singer vanishes, and then all of a sudden, patron gets feeling a lot better. Maybe. Why don't we confirm if he recently purchased a new vehicle and he could be our lead suspect?
Yeah, let's do that.
Well, also, how long? So the one person said they hadn't seen the stage manager for a while. Has he been missing longer than a day?
No. I think the implication they all give is that he's just super fucking busy.
He's just
haven't really. He's just running around. Nobody's really laid eyes on him. They've all.
Okay, because I was thinking.
I mean, this is the day before the opening night of a massive production.
Right.
Like I said, the whole backstage area is a fucking mess. In fact, the more people that you guys talk to, eventually Marco shows back up. The guy at the door. He's like, I know that everything. I know we talked, sir, but you really are disrupting things back here. I need to ask you to leave, and I'd rather ask you to leave than ask you to leave.
No, I understand. I don't want you to ask us to leave.
Yeah, that's probably good on you.
All right, let's go. We'll have to come back.
Does Emily make that face at Marco Baldo?
She always makes that face.
I can take him.
Like, please just ask.
Please go ahead. Try to make me leave.
Yeah, she has a resting
resting bitch face.
It's like beyond bitch, whatever is full on resting witch face.
Okay. Okay. So yeah, so he asks you to leave, and he begins to escort you out. Does anybody pull some shenanigans, or do you leave?
No, but I'm good to leave.
Okay.
Well, we got our answers.
Okay. So, where would you like to go next?
Do we feel that it's going to be valuable to go check out her townhouse? Or do you want to go see who?
No,
see
I
if
don't. I don't think it will be.
You're not a player.
But
Oh,
also,
were you talking to them? Were you
she
talking to them?
hasn't
For
been
Like,
that
here in
matter, we're going to go
months.
to the house.
She hasn't been home in a while. I would say that may be like a last place to check.
Yeah.
'Cause, I mean,
if we
she
don't
had-
get any other leads.
She had been in Paris for a performance. We're not sure how many performances she gave, but she had just been doing a little stint at the Opera House there.
Yeah, but she could have a
Paris.
diary that says, "Oh, Mr. Conti, he always takes me out for the most amazing." You know, I'm just.
I mean, I'm not telling you to not go. I'm just saying,
You just did.
no, I just said I don't think there's any reason for you to go. The police gave you the information from the maid
Do we
and
want
investigated
to
her house.
go see if we can see if Mr. Conti has a new car?
Yeah, I think that's the
Sure.
next step.
Oh,
I mean,
We're not
we
gonna figure out who the fucking Phantom of the Opera is.
I mean, I think that would require us being here at like a weird hour of the night, which we definitely can be if we wanted to be, but
Well, I can, yeah. I'm fine.
it might also be worthwhile for us to go see the performance because it'll probably be an exciting one.
Yeah, I would definitely stick
Someone's
around.
gonna die of fun.
So, so you would like to find out where Mr. Conti may live. Flavio.
I mean,
Flavio.
unless we need to go to the factory to find out if he bought a car, but I think it's just easier to stake
mean,
out the house and see what's there.
Johanna is a wealthy person of some renown who is in town. It is worth getting to know other influential people in the area. It's like the rich people make social calls to each other all the time. It's just a thing they do.
That sounds awful.
Yeah.
Our grandparents knew each other. Oh, let's have some brunch.
We hate each other, but who gives a shit?
Do I know anything about Mr. Conti?
You don't. The name doesn't sound familiar at all. But you
Did I
can look him.
recognize any of the other names in that list that were at the party?
No.
Okay.
They're not necessarily nobility. They're just rich.
Yeah.
They're rich
I-
and they're theater goers.
I can only imagine that you look down your nose on the recently rich.
Yeah, anyone that's
Renuvo
been
rich.
yeah,
You've
anyone
earned
that
your money.
Yeah, anyone that got rich in the last
Meritocracy
600 years.
sucks. Yeah. But I will say, since Kelsey has already had some experience with the Milanese white pages, he makes use of that again, and he is able to locate an address for a F. Conti in Torino, or near Via Torino. So I guess that's a street, not a place.
To the hired car.
Sounds
To
like
the
a plan.
hired car. Oh, your hired car. I was like, is that what you're calling him? The hired car?
No, actually, I think we want to. We should grab a meal, and I'll send ahead a letter saying that we wanted to call on him. That would be the appropriate social.
I mean, you don't have to send a letter. We've got telephones now, so.
Oh yeah, but yeah, I can send. I'll tell someone else to call for me.
Okay.
Talking to people is not my job. Talking to people about wanting to talk to people is
This
not
guy's
my job.
like, who the fuck? How do you say that in Italian, chat? Who the fuck? Contest or countess? Nobody cares. Nobody cares here.
I think everyone cares. No, that's your problem.
So yeah, some time passes. Do you guys like explore the city at all, or are you just like, we're on a mission? I'm just trying to understand your view of Milan at this point.
It's very depressing, and the
Yeah, I
weather's
was gonna
cold.
say.
Yeah, I've been to Milan before.
This is a
and-
this is a depresso espresso.
Yeah.
All right.
Uh,
So you find his address. You go ahead and you find his apartment. It's a modest apartment, even for as rich as he is. It's not too luxurious, but it does have a garage. It's one of those things where I don't apartments in this context always seem weird to me, but because they're not what I think of in 2022 as apartments. But yeah, you learn of his address. You go see he has an apartment near Via Torino. You do. It doesn't even require a spot hidden. There is an Alfa Romeo RL sitting in his garage. And he does answer the door when you arrive. He actually meets you there, and he's like, I got word that I was to be receiving guests today. Apologies if I don't know who you are. And he speaks, I'm going to say he speaks in English.
Does he have any indication that he has tuberculosis?
So he's a thin man in his late 50s.
Okay.
He does have a bit of a frail physique, but even with that, his cheeks do seem to now be flushed. He's still a little gaunt, but he seems to be recovered, but he does look like tuberculosis kind of took it out of him, based on reports. But he says, would you like to come in?
Yes, please. We met Katerina, whatever her last name is,
Cavallaro.
on the train on our way here before we stopped for a day.
Katerina.
She spoke highly of you, that you are a big patron of the local theater, and I was interested to meet you. I thought that would be appropriate since I'm also a fan of such things, although not often in Milan, usually in Salzburg or Vienna.
Sorry.
That's right. I couldn't remember the name of Vienna.
That came out of fucking nowhere. You couldn't remember. No, I was just a yawn just accosted me. So he lets you in, and I assume you're talking as he kind of shows you in and shows you where to sit. Looking around, he keeps all the windows in his apartment are open. You're not, I mean, like open, and it's cold. It is again January in Milan, but you notice that he is a little disheveled. Like I said, he does have a frail physique. You see near the window, because he does have servants bustling around, and you see them kind of like bundled up a little bit, and like clearly cold, and every time they pass a window, they kind of go a little faster to get away from it. But he listens to you, and he's like, well, I am pleased to know that she spoke highly of me. It's tragic to hear of her disappearance. She is much beloved by the people here in Milan.
What does his accent sound like? Does it sound appropriate for Milan?
Italian, yeah.
Okay, perfect.
And he's not dressed for the cold. He's just casual. He's not bundled up.
Yeah. So go ahead and you actually notice as you're taking in his sight or taking in his appearance, he is disheveled. He's not like fixed up or anything, and he's actually got like the bottom 3 buttons of his shirt are undone. You can go ahead and give me a spot hidden. I'm sorry, the top 3 buttons of his shirt are undone, not the bottom.
That is an extreme success at 5.
I saw nothing.
Also an extreme success.
Okay. Those of you that succeeded, you do notice with the top buttons undone, you do see what appears to be fresh scarring on his chest.
Oh man.
Like, okay. Like,
all I said was fresh scarring. He has made an assumption about what that might be from, but it just says you glimpse fresh scarring on his chest. He kind of. You only talked about Katerina, right? You didn't ask him about his illness or anything.
Correct.
So you're just talking about the opera star.
Seems really rude to kick in the door.
The TB.
Tell us more about how you recovered.
you.
You gotta tell us about your miraculous recovery.
Yeah.
It only cost 5 pounds of flesh.
He says,
Not mine.
he says, I am honestly, Katerina was a wonderful young lady, and I am worried about everything, about the disappearance, and
She was a wonderful young lady.
Dun dun dun.
Dun dun
that
dun.
might have been a me misspeak.
Oh, it's too late now. We know she's been
Whoa.
murdered.
No,
She's
that's
dead.
Can
that
we
is
see your
not-
basement?
You people are the worst. No, he's like she's a wonderful young lady, and I hope that she is recovered and found soon. That was a weird word I just used. Recovered. I hope she comes back soon. He seems distracted. He seems, he seems to be like, you notice as you're watching him, and I'll say with those, you had some extreme spot hiddens. Besides the scarring on his chest, he definitely seems to like, he kind of stands near the windows and he just breathes real deep. And he seems to really just enjoy breathing fresh air.
Well, medium. Like, there's some weird vibey shit here.
Okay, that's fine.
Oh,
That's fine. Go ahead
That's dangerous, but
and give me a medium roll.
It's kind of automatic for her, though. It's like if something weird, she senses something weird, she's like,
You're recovered from TB. Should you be standing in the cold? That's
yeah,
odd.
right?
maybe he can is so excited that he can breathe fresh air
Yeah,
again.
not a doctor, but okay, that's a 2. That's an extreme success.
That's awesome.
Okay.
Okay. Yeah, what you pick up from him is honestly that he is reveling being able to breathe so deeply after not being able to, and kind of wasting away from tuberculosis. Like anything that you're picking up on him is that he actually really was sick. But
Yeah.
he is also giving off like, he's kind of like, you're not sure why, but he seems like he's reeling a little bit. Like mentally, he's kind of like distractible. He's a little scattered, and he doesn't understand. Like, there's clear confusion to all of you that he has no idea why the hell you're here. And you really haven't stated your purpose, except that, Katerina, we have a mutual friend. And he's like, I don't know why you're here. I'm being polite because that's what you do. But what the fuck are you here for? And but yeah, you do get a sense that some of it is just he's been sick, he feels better, and he's enjoying that. But also that he is kind of distractible about things and not fully in this conversation.
When
Like, oh, go ahead.
when we came up, was his car in an? We didn't have to like look into
The garage is open. I'm gonna
So
say
it was
It's
noticeable,
I'm
right?
gonna say I don't I don't know what apartments and garages look like in 1923 Milan, but I'm gonna assume that maybe it's a carport. It's a breezeway where
we
he
didn't
can
have to,
shove
like,
that
peek
thing.
We didn't have to like peek through a window to see it or
Nah,
anything. Like
you're and Kelsey, you are a big fan of cars. I'm just gonna say, coming from Chicago like you are, and you're like, that's an Alfa Romeo RL if I ever did see one.
Well, that's what I was gonna do. I'm gonna look at him. I was like, I'm sorry for our pop in, but I happened to notice your
Are
car
you?
on the way up. Did you just get that? Because that is amazing looking.
I mean, it's new, yes. It is the latest model. I like to be on top of things like that. I do have to keep up appearances. Just because I've had
Nice.
tuberculosis doesn't mean I'm still not a man of refined tastes.
You had tuberculosis?
Yes.
You look amazing.
Well, I appreciate that. I don't think I look amazing, but I do appreciate it.
Well, most people that I've seen that had tuberculosis, they are not standing in front of an open window like you are. That is remarkable.
have you
They're
ever,
dead.
Have you?
They're dead. Yeah.
Most people I've seen are dead.
Hey, that's a lot to unpack.
Um,
I've seen a lot of dead people.
he's get out of my house. But he's like, pardon me, I received a letter from the Countess, but what is your name?
Oh, my name is Aaron Haskins.
Mr. Haskins, have you ever not been able to breathe? And like increasingly couldn't been able to breathe? Like
No.
as you lost your ability to breathe?
No, I can't say that I have.
Were you in World War One?
No.
Oh, okay. I was gonna
He
say you
didn't-
probably
he
got
didn't-
hit by mustard gas if you were.
He didn't.
Okay.
No, I wasn't.
Kelsey, don't
It's the
fight.
reason we have gas masks developed
Yeah.
1915.
So he's like, I thought I would die. I mean, how many people that have recovered from consumption?
None that I could recall. I mean, in Chicago,
Yes.
it's pretty much a death
Lethal.
sentence.
It's fatal. Yes.
Well,
I
compliments to your doctor then. This is very amazing.
they
What
are.
did he do?
Or she, wow.
It was a treatment plan, but to answer your first question, I'm less worried about the cold and more reveling in the fact that I can breathe this fresh, cold air.
So this is relatively new, your miraculous recovery, yes?
Yes.
I'm merely curious. It's
And he waves. Let's. If the cold is bothering you, let us go to my office. And he invites you into his study.
Oh no.
When we're walking through the house, is there anything that sets off alarm bells? Decorations off? Like, does it look like what he owns is appropriate for his station?
Yes.
Okay.
does he have any like weird occult fetishes or like other artifacts that are like, you know,
Yeah.
a little bit odd?
No, he doesn't actually.
But he
Is
wouldn't
there-
keep. He probably wouldn't keep them out in the open.
Is
I
there
mean,
any
you-
sounds that sound unnormal? Like, muffled screaming, thumps.
Someone casually singing an aria from Aida.
Give me.
Just
give me
plaintively operating for help.
Give me a listen roll.
Oh, help in C minor.
That's a regular success.
Hard
What?
success.
The fuck is this game, y'all?
This is what
We
happens
died.
when we have an off week, and then we're just like,
This is the second to last episode of the season.
We're doing great.
This is how we're gonna wrap it up. No, so successes all around.
A regular for me.
Cleo is more just
Still
keeping
doing your
her.
meat thing?
She's kind of still doing her medium thing because it. Listen, she gets the idea of like, oh, somebody that can't breathe can suddenly breathe again. But it's like with every fucking thing he says, he's just fucking weirder and weirder.
Yeah. Okay. Listen rolls. No. You hear servants bustling around. You hear sounds of things outside. I mean, he's on the Via Torino. There is wind blowing, things like that. Nothing out of the ordinary. Everything seems okay. Now, Cleo, you though are picking up the more you focus on him, because something is clear. So yeah, he's talked about having tuberculosis. You're pretty sure that he probably did. You saw the scarring as well, did you not?
Yeah.
Yeah. So you've noticed the scarring. You've noticed him, taking these deep breaths. Emily asked him if his recovery was recent. He says yes. Invites you to his office. As you're walking back there, you kind of get a feel off of him, Cleo, that like the scatteredness is almost kind of shifting into a strange kind of paranoia. Like the questions, he was already weird about y'all visiting, and under the circumstances under which it was claimed that you're visiting, and now with the questions about the recovery, you are starting to pick up on like nervous tics. You're starting to see that he's definitely getting a little shiftier. Nothing overt. Like those of you that are not making like you did your listen rolls, you're really not noticing anything except, yeah, this doesn't track for what we know about things. As you get to the office and he sits down behind his desk, you do hear him open a drawer. But you know, he just opens it, sets his hands on the desk, and yeah, you I'm trying to think how you would see this. Yeah, he just, Cleo, he just seems increasingly uneasy and suspicious.
Is there anything, as we get into the office, is there anything hanging on the walls at all beyond like a certificate? You know, like a piece of art, anything that is...
Nothing that strikes you as inappropriate or anything. I mean, it all feels
I just mean literally, does he have like a statue anywhere? It doesn't have to be occulty, like anything that looks like it could be like a piece of art or a carved statue, or like, I don't know, some weird mask hanging on a wall.
Yeah, we'll say that there's like some ornamental pottery on his bookshelves behind his desk. Or around the room.
And is there windows in here that are open as well?
They are, but it's only one.
Okay.
Like where you were, like in the common spaces, there was kind of like a wall of windows and like a balcony, and he had like the door ajar, and the windows open.
Leo's gonna kind of look at everybody, and she looks up at one of the pieces of pottery. Oh boy, and she's gonna be like, I know that piece of pottery. I've seen that before.
Oh. Okay. What is,
no,
yes,
that's
what
incredible.
Is yes in Italian? See? See? I know that's Spanish.
The ancient Celts used to use those to commune with the Morrigan. It's sort of a druidic, it's a very powerful druidic piece of history you have.
I love how she's just bullshitting this. It's amazing.
So, like I said, Conti is listening to you mention this, and you kind of mentioned these druidic things, and you know, the Celtic, like, religious or like mythology kind of beliefs and things like that. And you see him, his tics are more pronounced now that you're kind of looking right at him and talking to him. And he says, "Ah, okay, yeah." And he's like looking at it with you, and his eyes are a little shifty. And his hand dips down into the drawer, and it comes back up, and he has a revolver, and it's pointed at you. And we're gonna stop there for this week. But yeah, so yeah, guys, you're gonna have to fight this man.
Can I just go ahead and put it out there for next week? As soon as he sat down and opened a drawer, I would have had my hand in my jacket.
We can say that you did that. That seems like a paranoid Kelsey move. To be frank, it seems like a paranoid Aaron move that you're giving Kelsey. But
no, Aaron wasn't that paranoid towards the end. Kelsey's just paranoid, period, because he's not strong.
He's not strong. I'm not strong.
I'm not.
But thank you all for coming. We have one more episode this season. It will be next Sunday at 5 p.m. Eastern, 2 p.m. Pacific. If that changes, I'll be sure to let you know. But hopefully we'll all return hale and hearty and with scarring on our chest in time to have this combat with this gentleman next week. And we'll see what our wonderful investigators learn about the disappearance of the soprano, Caterina Cavallaro. This week again, we have Post-Apocalyptic Jukebox on Tuesday night. John is doing some interviews. What day is it you're going to be on Boys from the Baltic Star? Saturday, he's going to do Boys from the Baltic Star after Seriously Let's Play. right? Wow, they're doing a late game just for him. So we'll have those schedules on our Discord, on our social medias. We thank you all for joining us tonight. As always, much love and many thanks to Ala, Sean, Alyssa, and Matt. I am Rue, your keeper for the evening, and we'll see you in 1 week.